3 million years back, Earth was basically unrecognizable compared to today. But yo, he was already there. The main character who'd totally flipped the script on this new world. Starting out, he was just another face in the crowd of prehistoric peeps. Just your average primate. But inside that chest, burned a crazy needy scrap and be the absolute top dog. Mainly, he was obsessed with hunting, like it was his whole personality. He had this vibe that just wouldn't follow the rules. Dude refused to die. Scraps, wounds, wild trips, nothing left to scratch. Even time couldn't touch this guy. His whole species went extinct, eras flipped, but he just kept fighting. Fighting scary beasts just buffed up. The grit and gains of this would-be human, but nah, he turned into something else entirely. Hooked on endless brawls and power. 3 million years later, peak physique. Abs of steel and skills that were literally cheating. He became a straight-up god. Earth's boss, named Mu. Totally unbeatable against any hater or random challenger. But now, he was bored. Like, dying of boredom, cause nobody could step to him anymore. He casually punted a planet, not thinking it'd change the vibe much. The thing spun way off, totally ignoring physics. To Mu, just a toy. He banked the heavenly kingdom off a wall like a basketball. The guy running that place, named Elmar, stared in shock but didn't jump in yet. He was number 2 in charge up there. Big deal guy. But his alias, Lucifer, way more interesting. Meanwhile, Mu was suffering from doing zilch. Sick of it, since nobody dared say a word about his craziness, he mused on how tough it is being the Last fight was like 1,000 years ago. Then, total brain blast. To make fights fair, he just had to nerf himself. If he possessed some total loser, enemies would flock to him. Mu hollered for his dragon Yang Yan. Quickly, the monster answered the call and zoomed over. Touched down, and the floor quaked. Even though it wasn't exactly real dirt, huge dragon, walking on 2 legs like his boss, the Earth King. Yan was Mu's head secretary and took that job super seriously. The dragon was like, why call me to babysit while you vanish? Sounds super Suze. So, the dragon snapped casting shackles, so Mu couldn't dip without explaining. Chains rattled as they wrapped the god up tight. Like they could actually stop his master plan. Yeah, right. Jongyong yanked those magic cuffs tight and told Mu, bro, the god summit is starting. You can't just bounce. Earthlord kept walking, totally not giving a crap about the meeting. Besides, where he went was 0% their business. Jongyong trailed behind, whining everyone would be ticked off and roast him alive. Don't leave me to die, boss. With a massive boom, our guy just shattered the chains. His patience? Yeah, that snapped too. Eyes blazing, he snarled. You want a beatdown, or what? Terrified, the dragon squeaked. Actually, have a safe trip. The poor beast started shaking like a leaf. Mu reached out. I'm out of here, he declared. He started shopping around for a body to hijack. Scanning minds, he caught a stray thought. If you're real, go to hell. Perfect. Smirking Mu decided to grant that brat's wish. Hearing Jongyong blubbering, he figured he owed an explanation. So he told the secretary to watch his body and babysit whoever swaps in. You can't ditch your body, the dragon wailed. If it dies, you die. Mu scoffed. Who's worrying about whom here? Jongjong kept screaming. It was crazy to give a god bod to a mortal. Our hero shot back. It's fine. The kid's soul stays separate, safe with the dragon. Finally, he grinned and said, I'll be back soon anyway. And poof, he vanished. Meanwhile, a gamer kid just landed the final headshot on his phone. His avatar, looking like a teen, raised a sword. Final boss, toast, game over, but you could still roam the open world if you wanted, not that it mattered. Watching the credits, he thought, I cheated, but hey, I'm a hero here, way better than real life. Leho had just turned 17. Just a regular Earth dude with major self-esteem issues. Game done. No reason to hold on to the phone now. He let it slide right out of his hand. It smashed onto the pavement floors below. Weird victory lap? Thing is, he almost followed it down. Life sucked, but dying, still scary. He stepped to the edge, shaking like crazy. He chickened out, but the rage just wouldn't fade. Suddenly, he slipped. As he fell, his scream about wanting to leave and telling God to get lost reached Mu. You're hired. Bro didn't even know. It was game over. He just kept roasting the god who messed up his vibe and made him trip. Right at that split second, Mu body snatched him. No splat for him, popped him into another world, totally on purpose. While the big guy upstairs didn't get the memo, Leho's spirit just stared at the babysitter left in charge, keeping a total poker face. Thing is, kid only saw 2 giant scaly green claws. Leho stared down Dragon stared back, both totally confused. Like, who are you, and why are you here? So, they both dropped the question in sync. A sec ago, Mu was there, grinning and saying, don't stress about me. Told his assistant later, and hopped portals to Earth. His mug hadn't even vanished before Leho's ghost glitched into existence right there. Meanwhile, Four Eye's physical body was just about to eat pavement, flailing arms like a wacky inflatable tube. Man, Mu's ninja moves kicked and tuck and roll, stick in the landing despite the flimsy meat suit. Impact was still pretty gnarly, and his specs got absolutely wrecked. God was shook, didn't expect that welcome gift so soon. Usually, hearts and guts do their own thing on autopilot. But Mu hacked that system years ago with pure brain. After 3 million years of grinding, the Earth Lord knew every biological cheat code. That's why it wasn't a big deal for God to force that ticker to keep beating after the roof jump. Sure, he felt like trash, but feeling actual pain again. Pure hype. He bullied the body into surviving and stood up, thinking, man, this trip rocks. Wobbling like a zombie, our hero shambled toward the crib. Needed to recharge and download Leho's memories to avoid looking suspicious. Since his glasses were toast, Moose started walking on his hands to see the ground better. Weird flex. Leho's pad was in a pretty sketchy hood, and the place wasn't exactly a palace. Zero cleaning happened there. Kid's room had total prison vibes. Moo found just one relative on the contact list, living miles away. So basically, the kid was writing solo. Scrolling through the teen's memories was a total buzz. His life was garbage. Moo realized Leho wasn't living, just barely hanging on. And that school place looked especially toxic to a god. It was 100 times worse. Their bullies rode him so hard he almost snapped daily. Fist, slaps, and cheap shots rained down on him from bell to bell. Day in, day out. All served with a side of nasty and while the kid could take a punch, the emotional damage always wrecked him. Moo figured this setup was sweet, no need to go hunting for an excuse to throw hands. He immediately jabbed at nothing, visualizing his big school debut. Just a little warm-up rumble. His arms were screaming in pain, probably from that nasty wipeout earlier. Bad idea flailing around like that. He gripped his sore forearm, wincing. First, muscle ache in several thousand years. And honestly, he was loving it. The big bad Earth Lord hadn't vibed as hard in ages, like at least a couple of centuries. Next morning, cops taped off the scene. Just blood and smashed glasses found boring. Our boy bounced out of the house and strolled past the suits, whistling like he was totally innocent. Smooth criminal. Stepping into school, Moo realized he totally freaking everyone out with his look. But whatever. Haters gonna hate. Bam! He kicked the door open and crashed the class. Ignoring that, the lesson had started. Barely stepped across the line to claim his seat when WHACK. The door bounced off the wall right into his face. Clutching his sore jaw, he marched Leo's body to the desk. Some phone-addict kid spotted him. He asked what kind of circus act this was. Asked him if the clown show was in town. The class giggled. Cringe. Moo dropped his hand and crept toward the left. Game on. Hard to tell exactly what the vibe was. So our hero got right in his grill, feeling cockier with every step. Looming over the confused kid, the Lord of the Earth plotted how to bait him into swinging first. He cracked up. This dude was Leho's main bully. Oh, it is payback time, baby. Bully boy dropped his phone to square up, asking where Four Eyes lost his specs and why he was tripping out. Den slap. He tagged our hero before he could even blink. Or maybe Moo just let him land it. The kid started roasting him. Weak, blind as a bat. Can't even talk back. Little did he know, the script just flipped. No loser Leho. Here just a beast piloting a skinny suit. A fist flew out. Fighting rule number 1. Timing is everything. Bait him, then break him. So when that sloppy punch zoomed out Leo's face, it hit a wall. Moo was way too fast for that noise. Takes two to tango. And the Earth Lord was always down to dance. It's all about what the other guy tries to pull. Gotta be sure. Let him land one, just to keep it legal. That was the green light. Moo could finally go wild and enjoy the chaos. Best day ever. Bully didn't get the joke. He didn't know he was already dead meat walking. Suddenly, Leho's fist connected with the kid's face, but the impact, kinda weaker than he expected. A nasty cramp zapped his forearm muscles again. Moo Steel wasn't used to his busted bod or the need to chill out. He jumped back and let out a super embarrassing yelp. Hurt like the big guy up top slacked off on healing duty last night. Teets finally stepped in, screaming at the morons to quit it. He hollered that acting like savages wasn't cool, though he didn't look shocked at all. Leho squared up to the guy, itching to punch him again, ignoring the exit order. The whole class gawked, so the bully acted like he totally owned the place. He wound up a punch and charged, missing one key detail. The dude facing him wasn't just a wimpy Four Eyes. Now, Moo dropped into a stance, twitching his elbow a few times. He expected this drama and wasn't about to chicken out. But oops, forgot magic minions don't work on boring old Earth. Zero, backup arrived, leaving the Earth Lord shaking his head. Even the bully hesitated a sec before swinging. Didn't stop the hit though. Leho's jaw popped, barely standing. The guy readied another haymaker, hissing a warning to back off. Mu-eyed his foe. Since magic was a bust, and his limbs were trash, he was low on options. Actually, just one move, but it was a total game changer that promised a sweet victory. He slammed his forehead right into the incoming fist. Fingers are way weaker than a skill-buffed skull. The dude howled, not getting that the painful fun was just getting started. He just needed the target to freeze up and drop his guard to finish the job properly. First, the Earth Lord snatched the classmate by the wrist, yanking him into close range. Then, headbutt to the gut sent the guy wheezing upward. Eyes tearing up, a scream choked off. The bully thought he was dreaming. Meanwhile, our hero dipped low for the money shot. As he snapped up, the air actually whistled. His head smashed the bully's jaw with max power, clacking teeth together and snapping his neck back. Miracle he didn't bite his own tongue off. Beat. He dropped to his knees. Leho stood tall, silent boss. A split second later, his classmate face planted, phones catching every pixel. No one believed the nerd just wrecked the class tank. So, yeah, that actually went down. Fight over, hype dead. Mu fell just one thing. That stinging ache where he took a hit, tasted copper, bummed the fun was done. Then the wind hit. Him pure buzz, hands shaken. But the big guy has this weird ritual. Leans over the loser to say, got super close, mouth open, aiming for the ear. And yeah, he actually went for it. Just the tip though. Bit it, stood up, spat it out. The fleshy bit splatted on the tile, making everyone jump back like you. He loved tagging his wins with teeth marks. If he could, the count of guys missing ear chunks was honestly wild. Dude's been scrapping for 3 million years. Only the tough opponents got the nibble. His twisted little game for mages, monsters, elves all got this souvenir. Some thought it was super toxic. Mu didn't care. Other worlds were chill, but are different rules here. And the gossip spread faster than Wi-Fi. Kids whispering about the gross deets. The nerd bit the bully's ear off. What? Too nasty to be real, right? Even the school cat nodded like, yup, real. The fur stretched, looking like it wanted a snack, purring like crazy. It proved the kitty already got his protein tree. Kids stared out. Major drama to gawk at outside. The wee-woo wagon was taking Leho away. Mu watched, wondering if he was in trouble. Mostly, just wanted a rematch. Honestly, he gave a little wave and was like, get well soon, bruh. Behind him, Teach screamed, Leho go office. Now, Teach flopped in his chair, yelling, are you psycho? The man raised a folder like a weapon, screaming about rules. Mu got hyped, please hit me so I can fight back. Teach sensed the danger and froze mid. The teacher spun around fast. And, talking to that scrub, total waste of breath. Calling the rents to school is way smarter. Told the scram, Mu grinned. Sweet deal. Sun was blazing. Hero felt like dancing. Finally caught a dub in this noodle body. Home was honestly kinda didn't want to go, but this week meat suit needed rest. Hands were super jittery. From the brawl, and that nasty face, using mana would be clutch right now. AKA key, but nope, not happening. It's the juice fueling all life. Some worlds use it to go hunter mode. Others get magic, awesome for fighting. But Earth is dry. Zero magic from you. Total fail. The gods face harder test. Cool. He dug the challenge. Gotta relearn fighting without his OP skills. Back home, Leho's body got dumped on the bed. Max comfy vibes. Sleep fixes everything. He told his body shut down and passed out. Mu, in true form, sigh loud. Time to grill the secretary. Saw Leho's ghostwriting union, first thing. Why the dragon let him? No clue. Leho marched up, pointing at the beast, demanding the dragon as a pet. Four Eyes said being Isakade had a point, so he deserved a safety net. Right? Kid had a sneaky plan brewing. Figured dragon plus new world equals oopie cheat code. Mu raised a hand. Big magic claw appeared. God mumbled, this kid's weird. The claw grabbed the boy to drag him away. Leho screamed, unfair, then froze up. Mu said he was legit gonna yeet the kid so he'd miss Earth. Planet 2 selected Lucifer's crib. Mu's bare feet tapped landing. There, but he ignored it. Lucy was busy with magic spy stuff. So, no rush to say hi. Whole squad crashed in. Asking sup? Kinda rude. Lucifer, straight up said, not happening. Jan was shook. He hadn't even asked yet. And Mu was already like, it's a yes. Dude decided to yeet the school kid straight to Elmer's world. So, crack that portal open. Like, right now. Hornhead Sedide the god, super salty about being bossed around. Since when do you call the shots? Earth boss because I'm swole, that's why. You mad? Swing first and find out. He licked his lips, totally ready to throw hands. Whenever Lucy was big mad. He hated Jim Bros, but knew this guy was a wizard too. Suddenly, Moose said, hold up, gotta fix something real quick. Horn Dude was confused. The god raised a hand, checking the vibes. Lucy shouted, you can't touch my world. Firewall activated. He was gonna brag that his shield blocks everyone. But crack. the barrier shattered instantly. Elmer was so stunned he forgot to rage. Total mood killer. Hornface started yapping about rules. Earth boss cut him off. Quit stuttering, nerd. No time for debate. Mu told him to free the soul and called the kid over. As the rift opened, the god told the kid to jump, but he just stood there, looking totally lost. The Earth Lord was like, go, but the kid insisted on bringing the dragon. In response, the boss laughed. Find your own ride there, kid. Ignore the secretary. Then the third guy just snapped and yeeted the boy through the portal to Lucy's turf. Mission accomplished. Hearing the kid scream about getting gains, Mu sighed. Kids these days are lazy. He told Lucy to babysit the human and waved by with zero respect. Elmer was shaking. Absolutely. Triggered by Earthlord's toxic attitude. The Demon King thought he was the main character. Planet Elmer was his crib, named after himself, obviously. Back then, Lucy was cocky enough to fight God without even being one. His flaming spear was meant to check everyone and prove he was the GOAT. But then he decided throwing hands was way cooler, so he swapped to a massive shiny sword. He froze his enemy with magic and pulled off his evil scheme. Easy peasy. He deleted the god. Didn't stop there, he wiped out every other god in the server. Needed that XP to level up, rule the worlds, and become a god himself. And yep, that's just how it went down. Elmer hit god tier status. Total boss. Dude was chill outside, but inside, screaming, heck yeah. This OP Demon King knew how to flex on everyone with style. Total chaos, but awesome. A whole mood. Lucifer was slaying, until Mu showed up and ruined the vibe. Right then, the king started hating hard. He wanted payback so bad he couldn't even chill. So he kept tabs on that. Jerk via his secretary, waiting to clap back. Lucifer watched every move Mu made after dipping. Earless guy Leho's peer had that same salty look. Called him a wannabe loser, acting hard. Real talk, the kid was cooked. Bro grabbed his phone to find a contact for some sweet revenge. It started ringing, loud, annoying ring, but nobody picked up. Gym Rule 1, focus, so they ignored the buzzing. At the 111th Fest, Champ Kong practiced his move. It buzzed? Non-stop. It was totally bugging the athlete. Checked where the device was sitting. Didn't want to answer, but they were thirsty. He asked who dis, and Blondie said mine. Quan had been grinding there for 2 years. Picked up bro offered a swap for his cracked screen. Next day, the squad met in class, dying to see if the beef would go on. He walked in, looking absolutely toxic. All the shade from class was now on him. He needed payback or he'd be socially dead. The roasting made it hard to chill. They said he was faking it and was actually a total scrub. Herein they were wrong to fear Earless. He threw his bag, raging. Bully screamed. He was done. Don't like it. Let's throw hands. He was down. All quiet butt press. Who scoffed at him hard. She spun around to him. Said quit the clown show. Sit down or leave. Bro was shook, but then snapped that she must be crazy to try him. Yelling she was a moron with a death wish. Dude grabbed a chair, totally ready to yeet it at her head, or at least toss it. Saved by the bell, Teach walked in, looking buff enough to KO a bear. He asked why Prez wasn't in her seat, completely ignoring the chaos. The girl dropped into her chair, muttered my bad, claiming it was nothing, but Teach wasn't letting it slide. He told the class Prez to swing by his office later. When she asked why, he just gave a creepy silent smile. After class, Teach explained Leho caused a major scene yesterday and was ghosting calls, so she had to go perform a welfare check. Once the teacher dipped, the Prez was still salty, but that sweet recommendation letter bribe left her no choice. After school, she hit up Leo's place and knocked, but got zero reply. She jiggled the handle and realized the door was unlocked, so she crept inside for a look. Our guy was floored, legs draped on the bed like a total crash scene. His eyes were open but vacant, and the drool puddle was definitely a bad sign. Prez let out a total horror movie scream. Guess that explains why he was ghosting the teacher's texts. She figured he was toast but couldn't just leave Leho there, so she called an ambulance and rode shotgun to the hospital. They hooked him up to an IV. Luckily, dude was alive, just knocked out cold. Eventually, Mu's spirit returned to his flimsy body. Leho blinked awake, totally clueless about his spawn point. Trying to get a grip, our hero scanned the room. Place looked alien, but he recognized Prez. The tube in his arm though, wild. Guess this healing magic was brand new to him. He felt the juice hitting his veins, powering him back up. It hit his bloodstream fast and worked like a charm. Maybe humans weren't total trash after all. Mu realized this tech rivaled magic healing and got super hyped. Prez saw the grin and thought it was weird to be that happy. She decided. The guy had cracked to be laughing now, so she asked what his deal was. Radio silence. She just said she had to bounce back to class. Since she was only on errand duty, our hero sat up, figuring she was the one who dragged him to the hospital. So, He told her to hang on a sec. Mu had a question, and the haughty Agriba told him to make it snappy. The Earth Lord realized that he knew zip about this modern world and needed a crash course ASAP. Mainly, he needed a training spot, so Mu asked Prez about it. That pretty much confirmed. The nerd was totally bonkers, so she just stared at him for a minute. Finally, she asked if he had any cash on him. She pointed out the park gym, and the god instantly started his grind. After crushing some push-ups, he hopped down to the ground, thinking, hey, this actually works now. Mu was totally vibing with the gear. Top-tier stuff. Way better than the junk from 4,000 years ago. Back then, gains meant hauling giant rocks around. Digging holes worked too, but the cleanup was a total nightmare. He switched over to the next machine. His form might be sus, but he was proud of human tech. Thwack a rock hit his back. Workout paused. Time to investigate. Behind him, that scarred kid in Kwang Kao, the blonde boxer. The punk sneered, saying he'd been hunting for Lee Hogu everywhere, mocking his sudden interest in fitness. Mu grabbed the rock and chill asked, "Who chucked this?" The kid smirked, claiming it was obvious. It was him, and that his bro brought a whole squad to end this. Bam! A fist smashed the guy's face. Before he could even finish his trash talk, he dropped, clutching his nose and wailing. Nobody cared. Just a reflex smack for that annoying rock toss. Mu was actually pretty hyped. Meanwhile, the God's annual summit kicked off with Union. The dragon pulled a note. "Boss is out, so I'll read this." Lucifer wasn't having it, and snapped at the secretary. The monster raised a brow. "What's the deal?" The Demon King telepathed. "You lost your mind, Jan. Panic mode?" He waved his hands. "No way. Chill. I'm just a messenger, then I'm out." He stood up and started reading the note. "If a worthy opponent shows up, call me. That is all." A super awkward silence filled the room, broken. When Lucifer slammed his fist on the table, asterisk, bang, Elmer yelled, "This guy's ego is getting old." So Mu literally ghosted the meeting this time. Lucifer looked right. "You guys okay with this disrespect?" Then left. "We're here to keep the world stable. People." When nobody said a word, the Demon King just seethed in silence. Finally, the third-ranked archer called it out. "This is dumb. We only step in if the Earth God fails." Lucifer screamed that the system turned into a playground for one jerk, and it's all gonna crash. The mess Mu made is only getting way worse. Did you morons forget the Cyclops planet disaster? The 9th-ranked Cyclops god shuddered. He remembered. So, 1,000 years ago, the Cyclops world was almost toast, facing total deletion. Void freaks see it, tried to snack on it like a yum bagel. Dude literally started munching. The orb when God Mu heard the tea and zoomed to help. Earth Lord just spawned in. Instantly yeeted see it with a max level smack. Void Boy got wrecked. Obs but still, ate a huge chunk of the map. Lucy asked if the whole drama was needed. If they squated up sooner, none of this goes down. He said, Mu was way too wild and not even god material. Earth Lord's aide nearly tripped. Hearing that shade about his actual boss, bro mentally sobbed, begging Mu to return. ASAP, cause Union couldn't handle this mess. But God didn't hear the crying. He heard Leho's classmate whining and holding his nose. Dude screamed. He was cooked cause his blonde bro boxers. Quan stepped up saying, "Bro, had fast hands? So what sport does he main?" RMC was like, "Nah, I just scrap." The OP laughed and squared up. Testing Leho, he rocked his jaw with zero chill. Punch to his incoming fast. But the boxer lagged out. He didn't get why this weirdo just stared without dodging. Leo laser focused on the fist paused at his nose. Totally wild. Scariest part? Dude grinned like it was his birthday. And boom, Leo's head snapped back. Nose leaking, but the creepy smile stayed. Then he licked the red stuff, staring down his Moon never skips a first hit. Asking if Quan was actually good? Super awkward. Hero said, "Watch and learn," then posed up. Blondie smirked, thinking the kid was copying him and looked goofy. The hit came fast, crushing the op's hand. Boxer stumbled back, wondering how a kid was this buff. Never had. He felt such power, it totally shook him. Mu loved the drama, used an old hack, and loved it. When hitting, he flexed his muscles specifically to max out the stats. Arms were toast, but whatever. Just had to stop the twitching and reboot, cause this was where the big boss got his kicks. First time in eons, he actually felt alive. Battling gods at max level, total snooze fest. Ugh, even remembering it sucked. But rockin' a flimsy body? Now that's spicy. I had to grind from level 1. Dude whipped off his belt, wrapped his wrist so his noodly bones wouldn't snap. Even the boxer looked shook. And his bro kept yapping, "Don't bail," until told to zip it. Wah rushed in fast as lightning, hoping for a cheap shot. But Leho blocked it, ignoring the too slow disc. Boxer kept swinging, yelling, "You're cooked, bro." Leho begged to differ. Fast, but not flash fast. Mu read him like a book. Watching the twitch, he knew exactly where the punches were headed before they threw. Tried a KO swing, screaming, game over. Leho countered right at the limb, flying at him way harder and way faster. Crack went the bone. That belt fist combo did work. Dude held and stared at his arm, which was basically jelly. Now, Leho stepped up. Blondie stepped back. Realizing the script just flipped, Moo loved the panic. Twinning reactions. Yeah, definitely, brothers. The KO hit, but it wasn't Leho, eat and dirt it, was Quan Cho Reo. Out cold. Brel screamed at the nerd to back off. Like he could stop the boss? Yeah, right? Dream on. Wrap it up. Moo grinned savagely. Bully knew what was up. Kid's face said he wouldn't. Peep. Suddenly didn't feel like playing hero anymore. Still, he tried blocking Moo's victory lap. Even scraped up enough. Guts to put a hand up and say, stop. Smirked, telling Leho to just quit and walk. They just bounce response. A fist to the already busted nose. The kid shrieked, clutching his face, not seeing the next shot coming. Then another, and two more for luck. Teeth started raining out. Total nightmare fuel. One gut punch later, and bro couldn't even stand. Total his face puffed up like a cheap marshmallow. Dude was leaking tears, but was too wrecked to even squeak. Leho crouched over him, looking totally shady and dark. You'd swear Moo was grinning. Spoiler, he totally was. He laughed. Wow, didn't think you'd be such a glutton for pain? He tagged the blonde kid with a final parting gift, and strutted off, leaving the loser face down in the dirt. The kid glared at his back, and muttered a weak curse. How'd that nerd get so buff overnight? It made 0 sense. Home safe, Moo flopped onto his bed. Finally, leveling up this week, but man, his hands were wrecked. Bruised and throbbing like crazy. Gotta heal up. The grind never stops. But if he keeps snapping twigs, fighting is off the table. Would be sweet to hop back to his own dimension. See Young Yun. A quick status check wouldn't hurt. Moo shut his eyes, focusing on the jump back. Glitch. He tried spamming the command, but nothing happened. He was stuck on Earth. The server connection was dead. Meanwhile, things had gone sideways in the God realm. It started on planet Elmer Lucifer's turf. Moo told him to babysit the nerd. He swapped, then dipped out. The Demon King raged as his rival hopped on a dragon to leave. Young asked how the Earth trip went. Moo complained that his new avatar had garbage stats. The aide suggested packing a mana refill orb. Next time, great idea, but way too late now. See, some items work like batteries for otherworldly magic. They spawn in mana zones. But on Earth, you need god-tier luck. Basically finding a unicorn. Happens like once every few thousand years. If stars align, only a few humans ever found one, and they instantly became gods. That caused some serious drama for the owners and anyone who touched him. Moo swore to the dragon he'd prep better next time. He'd just go the old school way for now. He hopped off Yan, heading to the portal, but Yan nagged about the meeting. The boss claimed some monster had wins so much he felt bad and made a gift for it. Whooping! He flashed the note the dragon had read to the squad. The dragon kept throwing a tantrum, but the boss was already warping out. As his soul warped, Yin-Yang face-palmed hard. Way too late now. Moo's god body flopped on the floor. His aide looked ready to faint. Big mood. Wrecked. Lucifer lurked in the corner. Shook, but hyped. Payback time. Baby. No clue what the Earth boss was thinking. But the dude ghosted the meeting. So Lucy had the high ground. Seeing the secretary simp for his boss, Demon King knew. Go time. A once-in-a-lifetime shot. And since the boss was AFK, he couldn't stop the chaos. Lucy spammed his life. Mimic spell he'd been saving forever. Magic spikes just spawned out of thin air over the dragon, ready to turn him into a kebab. They zipped by, freezing the beast in place. Don't even blink. Moo got boxed in a magic cage, totally stuck. He growled, what's the big idea? Ready to shred Elmer if he didn't spill the tea? But the clapback was instant. Lucy spread wings, floated up, and yelled, I'm fighting God. He glared at the squad. This war, 0 chill. Demon King wasn't trolling, and he was ready to risk it all. YOLO mode engaged. Dragon charged his ult. The classic fire breath. A sec later, flames burst out, enough to roast the whole lobby, but he only aimed at Lucy, who lagged for a sec. Then he sidestepped and blocked it with a casual wave. Tiny boom, show's over. The fire curled like Saturn's rings around the base. Pretty cool. Then, a huge bang, but way too high up to matter. The Archer popped a shield to stay safe, but cursed up a storm. Everyone huddled in a blue bubble, leaving the boys outside. The fire from the boom hit the ground, but Dragon is fireproof, and his rival was ready. Moo broke free, saw the shadow, and went for round 2. Dragon dropped the disguise. Rage meter hitting max. Elmer's eyes flashed evil, and he swore the beast stand. His boss were gonna be history. Young looked epic in true form, leaking fire, Not happening, he hissed. The archer interrupted with the loudest sigh ever. Guess she had thoughts to share. She eyed them. Bad vibe for a save-the-world meet. Magic spikes rained on Young. While he was distracted, blood dripped. Suso didn't care. She stood up to rake. I'm done. Lucifer went totally off script, ordering the girl to freeze with a voice colder than a slug. A huge question mark hung there about whose team she was on. Was she helping boot the Earth Lord out of the God Club? Suso ghosted that order and kept walking, saying she was sitting out the drama, totally neutral. That answer worked for the Demon King. He nodded, then asked anyone with beef to speak up. He grabbed a magic spear, adding casually that he'd wreck every single one of them personally. Talk about a buzz. Jung Young piped up, squeaking out if he was actually dumb enough to think he could beat the boss. Lucifer gave a wicked grin, asking, who that idiot? Hiding inside, some total wimp. The dragon asked where he got his tea, and the enemy replied that being too cocky always ends in a fail. Yang Yen clammed up, because, deep down, he knew it was true. The dragon yelled that the villain wouldn't swing a smooth spike-free tail. That hit was meant to flatten Lucifer, or at least leave a mark. Monster was buff, but the enemy just flicked his blade and hopped down, looking fresh from a haircut. The tail stump flopped down too, and the king told Yan not to rush death while breathing. They could still hit Earth, and there, he'd handled that crazy god inside the weakling. That was the master plan. Dragon laughed, saying, Mu's undefeated streak wasn't ending now. Then the monster ran out of juice, shaking as he hit the dirt to recharge. Quan was basically the same, vibrating with fear. Coach grilled him for brawling before the big match. Told him to go home and stay there till his hands fixed up. Meanwhile, the dude got disqualified. Boxer spun around, clutching his ear and trash-talking the guy he fought yesterday. Bumped into Champ Kong Shaw at the door, who looked super confused. Boxer asked, what messed up? His hand, but just got some mumbles back. Then the blonde dude got an idea, grinning like, why not use the top dog? He sniffled, leaned in close, and whined about how rude kids are these days. Quan Ha looked down, lying that he stood up for his bullied little bro. But he just got wrecked, broken arm, torn ear, right before the comp. He faked crying, wiping his eyes, and sobbing loudly to look tragic. The champ didn't buy the act, walking past and telling Blondie to be careful. Kanko added that instead of fighting, he could have practiced more to avoid the drama. Blondie muttered to keep the dumb advice. He wanted sympathy, not a lecture. Hold up. The champ spun around, taking a few steps back. Totally forgot one tiny detail. Wayno grinned, but got roasted. Crying's for losers, bro. Get a grip. Then, the fighter got super hype, asking, who wrecked me? Eyes blazing. Meanwhile, Moose sat on Leo's bed, fuming. Why was he still stuck here? Only one explanation made sense. His real bod was trashed. The Earth Lord started seeing red. He specifically told Yan to watch his shell. Something massive must have gone down. Even if the dragon flopped, who'd be dumb enough to fight Mu? He stood up. Let the gods hate him. He wasn't gonna rot here doing nothing. Fist clenched, shaken like crazy as the rage meter maxed out. Been ages since some losers tried him like this. Mu spun and absolutely nuked his pillow. No way he was letting this slide. Everyone was gonna pay. Big time. He pictured the divine beatdown he'd deliver. Oh, they'd be sorry. Right now, only Leo's poor bed felt the pain of his borrowed fists. The dude was literally fuming, but beating up betting was kinda lame. So Mu paused and took a breath. Time to figure out an exit strategy. Even if every god attacked, his secretary would guard his shell. Hopefully, but until he found a way home, he had to buff up this noodle-armed body for war. The next day, training went great. Since he was skinny, abs popped instantly. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Focus hard on muscles. Get ripped fast. Easy game. He busted out laughing on the pull-up bar. People thought he'd snapped. Annoyed, Mu let go and flopped onto his back. Ouch, not a soft landing. Then, he heard a familiar voice. Ooh, the class prez was walking over. She snapped. Why aren't you in class, Leho? Hall monitor vibes. He asked why he even needed school, then pointed to a bench. Let's talk. He asked the real question. Can I get swole while studying? She smirked, clearly. Intrigued. What's the plan, nerd? He shrugged. Just want to get strong. I'm too weak to fight right now, Leho admitted. But I gotta be ready. The prez listened with one ear, mostly plotting how to drag his butt back to class. After some rambling about gains, they both had a light bulb moment. Finally, the head boy asked, why bother training if there's nobody to scrap with? Fair point, honestly. Place was a ghost town. Just him, grinding solo on the machines. You gotta go where the crowds are to start some real drama. She hopped up, feeling smart, and told him, meet me at school tomorrow. Tons of guys to wreck there. Then she waved and dipped. Mu watched her leave, thinking, wow, she's actually onto something. The dudes he already humbled were too scared to show up, so he needed fresh meat while he healed. He was just about to commit to going to class when some guy hollered from behind. Stranger was rocking massive goggles that ate half his face. He kept pestering him, asking if he was really late. Mu was pumped. He spun around, took a fist right to the grill. Man, he was loving this planet. Kong started boxing just before turning 15, and it was rough back then. He didn't train for fun. He had to protect his sis, a total star ballerina, while the family was hyping up her skills and graceful moves. Something super creepy was going down. Some obsessed fanboys started shadowing her every single move. This creeper wasn't just watching either. He was snapping pics day and night like a total weirdo. His craziness spiked until one day he went way too far, tailing her into a sketchy, empty alley. She was just walking back from practice to see her folks, totally clueless about the danger. Luckily, someone jumped in to save the day so fast she didn't even have time to scream. Kong Chul happened to be passing and wrecked the guy before he could try anything. But the cops didn't lock the dude up. Since he got off easy, the creep started plotting round 2. Getting crazier by the second, he geared up for the next attack. He brought a blade this time. Kang Chul stopped him, but the damage was done. His poor sister got super paranoid and terrified of everything after that. Her dreams were crushed, and she spiraled hard. Plus, a bad leg injury and surgery meant no more dancing. Ever. That's when the kid stopped trusting the system. He saw that bad guys just walk away free. So the boxer took matters into his own fists to school the dirt. He stopped showing any mercy. Break the rules around him. You're getting wrecked. Kong Chua got more hyped about hunting thugs every day, patrolling the sketchy parts of town at night. He made sure to stomp the villains before they hurt anyone else. Everyone started recognizing his goggles and baton, and now the thugs usually booked it the second they spotted his shadow. If they were smart, Kanko lived to smash on total hero vibe. Time to school the guy who ruined his buddy's shot at the big leagues. Leho, aka the Earth Lord Chilin inside, took a hit so hard, he almost faced. Totally, didn't see that coming? But hey, a few thousand years of brawling helps. Dude bounced back instantly. Stoked the other guy swung first though. Now he could throw hands guilt-free. Heck yeah! Mu felt lucky. A scrap this early. Best gift ever. Kanko was like, yo kid, why you look beating folks up? You trying to be a thug or what? Nerd smirked. Less yapping, more punching. Straight out of a video game. Foe froze up. Shock gave him a major stat, but Kong Cho wasn't chicken. He hyped himself up and charged. Mr. Big Avenger. Leho squared up, ready to block. Crazy fast reef. This fight was gonna be lit. Boxer whiffed a bunch, cause the kid kept dodging. Shocking. After another fail, the boxer muttered, moves like that make champs. He jammed the right side to blind him, worked like a charm. The hit connected and was super heavy, almost floored the Earth Lord, but nope. Kid blocked with an elbow. No damage, but wow, good sparring partner. Plus, the super chatty Kanko gave him props for that. Block, respected it. Next attack came fast, aiming for the dudes. Forearms, but he wasn't gonna let that land clean. Surprise, jab to the back. Don't forget, boxers have 2 hands. Mu realized Kanko was cheap-shotting his sore spots. He backed off, plotting. A counter. Boxer thought he was scared. Hero guy was like, I know you got 0 defense left, but I ain't letting you off easy. Fist out. Avenger shouted, justice has no mercy. So dramatic. Leo cracked up so hard he was shaking. Kanko was totally confused. Nobody laughs at his threats like that. Mu knew his messed up hands couldn't take this boxer down. The shaking was getting bad. Ligaments were toast. Punchy was a no-go. He laughed cause he was dying to fight. Backing down. Dude was just thirsty for action. Told himself to chill and figure out a winning strat. Couldn't just vibe with the mess. Even big shot gods take Ellis sometimes. He'd eaten dirt before. Admitting defeat, he knew the drill. But honestly, it was a blast. Tough fights meant epic XP. Whenever he got wrecked, he'd reboot and scan for bugs. Figured out how to outsmart the muscle. Moves got brains. Flipped the script so bad luck became a buff. The cooler he stayed, the faster he owned the game. To level up, Mu tried hard to use his head and squash the rate. But taking a massive hit, sometimes he just loved it. Spitting blood, he felt pure joy inside. Dude just had to laugh. Legit, cracked him up. Total mind games. To win now, he had to kill the vibes. So our hero tried his best. Forced a gloomy face, but it took every ounce of focus. Kangol flinched. The mood swing was weird. Thought the kid was psycho. Didn't scare him though. Actually, it ticked him off. Wanted to end it. Yelling, quit playing. The guy swung to hit. He was grossed out by that pouty mug. Mu fought the giggles to save his plan. Looked rough. Still dodged the attack like a pro. Weird face. Same speed, no room to run though. Back against a tree, had to scrap right there. Lightbulb moment hit, when he felt dirt, not tile, under his sneakers. Kicked a dust storm right into the boxer's face. didn't do much. Boxer hat, a mask and goggles, plus the arm block, but that was it. Rage mode engaged. Kang screamed, "Cheap trick, you, ugly brat," got up close, itching to smash him for real. Mu held the poker face. It worked perfectly. Dude saw red. That grimace made him snap. Threw a haymaker just to wipe that boring look off his face. Mu ducked obviously, and the fist crunched hard into the tree behind him. Bro spun fast, leaving K-Chaw in the Dust Zero chill mode, activated. Next, hit whiffed, 2. God reflexes greater than 4,000 years of practice. Major, oof. Cause in this sitch, keeping a straight face was impossible. Mu smirked hard. Throwing hands is complex stuff. Sure, but this god had totally maxed out that skill tree ages ago. Old foes were total campers. This champ, he's rushing full aggro. His combat vibe, way different. Kids chasing justice, not just trying to not die. Planted his feet, thinking he's the main character saving the server. Seeing that, Mu could read the play, planning to exploit the dude's sweaty aggression. Didn't throw a single punch, just war. Kang down by dodging the spam attacks he wasted all his stamina on. Our hero laid a trap dirt and rocks hoping. The tired tryhard slips. And boom, got him. Kong tripped and his defense dropped to 0. Mu had to press the attack button now. Mu aimed for the weak spot. Was gonna use a fist, but lunge. Max speed for this weak bud. Gotta go fast. Wait, nope. Godbrain realized his fingers were wrecked. Last second audible. Ate an elbow instead of a knuckle sandwich. Hit, different sounded like snap crackle pop potential. But lucky for him, no snap. Kang tanked it, but looked totally shook by the noob skill. Time to rage quit this tag game, AS. Muello led again, realizing his elbow was toast too. Everything hurts. Giggles died real quick when the baton smacked his thigh. Total cheap shot, ref, dropped to his knees. Big L to super rare for him, but hey, happens to the best deities. Kang tapped the collarbone like, don't even try. Movin said Leho's crime spree is officially cancelled. Raised the bat. Party's over. Kid, no more low. He was gonna make sure of it. Kneeling there, tasting that salty defeat, been 4,000 years. Yet Earthlord said, nope, to the head bonk. Hit the dodge button perfectly. But the follow-up, bonk, right on the dome. Kinda funny finisher move ready. Maybe it's just GG for the kid. Plot twist. A heavy rock just yeeted into Khan's skull. Rock bounced off his noggin and rolled out. Champ panicked. Beaten up nerds needs 0 audience. If there's a spectator, he can't finish the match. Baka was salty, but had to bail. Bonk. Another rock tagged his skull and bounced. Mu did a nervous giggle. Kanko decided to bounce. ASAP. He grabbed his tie jacket and swore. Whoosh, went the blue cloth. Needed champs don't need drama. Hood up, batten down. Rocks kept coming. Then a weird green thing popped out and squeaked master at Mu. Our guy turned. Saw a tiny, cute monster. Looked kinda like Yan. No way that was actually him. When Lucifer body snatched the Earth Lord, he chained him with magic spikes. The Demon King was itching for payback, but he knew rushing was for losers. Elmer was stoked he'd nerfed the enemy so bad they were stuck. He ripped space so the god's soul was locked out. Savage, just had to crack the Earth shield now. The baddie snapped out of it and looked back. Saw a cuffed dragon clearly not having a good time. Elmer told Jan, beat Mu, I'll make you a god. Totally shameless. The Earth Lord's secretary grumbled. He was gonna explode. That blonde kid was so annoying. Lucifer yelled, what? Cause the monster was too huge to hear. Dragon asked if the bad connection meant the shield was unhappy. Elmer crossed his arms. Yep, 0 damage. Bruh. So Jan better say yes. Dragon said, sweet, my master is safe. Then charged up a sneak. Attack the villain didn't see coming. Fire flashed behind him. The king looked back. Big mistake. Young dropped a massive boom spell. Everything lit up like fireworks. Rushing at Elmer, he cursed and called the dragon a weirdo. A fire laser shot from the tower, swallowing the boss. Even with fire resistance, this was cosmic level. Yonin was the boom shook Lucifer's world so hard, the planet almost tipped. Hard to see through the smoke, but it was a total disaster. Using the chaos, Union went tiny and squeezed through a gap to help. He was drained, but still ready to throw hands. Lucifer chased, throwing spears to stop him from snitching to Mu. He raged at John and swore to delete. Get that bratty lizard and his boss the second he grabbed him. Elmer yeeted his weapon right at Union, who was sprinting away. Total miss. Dude was too tiny, so the aim was completely off. The spear nailed Mu's throne, letting his assistant zap to earth. The dragon cruised, trying to figure out how to spot the big boss down here. He totally forgot the spawn point though. But his built-in GPS was clutch, leading him right to his boss. And even though the beast was now lizard-sized, he found a way to help Mu by using rocks. First rock was him though, a mini dragon crashing from space. It was the smack of his hard crash that made Kyle run, losing his flips. Mu headed home and dragged his assistant along. Needed a chill, private chat without creeps watching. Union spilled the tea on the god drama. Mu sat there, gloomy. The Earth Boss's eyes were practically on fire. Couldn't believe Lucifer would actually pull a stunt like that. Then Mu cracked a huge, happy grin. Thought the enemy quit fighting. But nah, that ain't it. Chuckled. Elmer's been prepping for ages 'cause fate said so. He rolled up his sleeves, checked his guns. Nope, weak sauce. Had to grind hard to buff up this totally useless body. Tried lifting an arm and ouch, major pain. This sucks. Can't fight, can't train. Mu started shaking with rage. Needed a heal ASAP, or he couldn't do anything. Asked Yonin if he brought that magic ball thingy. The beast grinned and said mission accomplished. It's all good now, so don't stress about it. Suddenly, a weird lump slid up the dragon's throat. Gross. Then Youngin just burped out a blood-red rock, a dragon stone made of pure dragon blood. The assistant shyly said he only brought one ball with a one-time full heal spell on it. Would have packed more if he knew. Mu didn't get mad though. Just touched the stone, which somehow grew way bigger. The Earth Boss looked at it, super stoked and smiling. Should fix all his damage. The magic kicked in instantly. The stone melted, and green steam started rising up. Mu felt his muscles buff up and energy rush in. He asked Jan if he was right, thinking this wasn't a normal heal, 'cause he felt jacked. The dragon humbly said he tried his absolute best, and poured his power into that ball to heal and upgrade him. The magic fizzled. Rock went mini, but stayed put. Earth's low tech, so the orb's totally reusable. Mu chucked it to his sidekick Union. Free swag. Hard pass, the dragon scoffed, stashing the rock for a rainy day. Gulp. He rubbed his tongue, waiting for the hit. A yellow lizard hugged a finger just like that. Meet Dooley, the boss's scale baby. Daily hangs. She loved her scaly pal. Into the tank if he talked. Total BFF material. She bounced, yelling, "Don't be bored, low guy. Catch ya after class." Class was standard, but one kid flipped the script. Lee's usual tormentor sat silent nerd moding on his notes. Bullying seemed lame. Books were cool now. Just then, the hero strutted in, oozing major swag. The kid scribbled fast, terrified of his pal. Mu, piloting Leho, told the guy to join the contest. Prez mumbled he was late but had a plan. He spun to the girl. "Your chat made me come. You sold me?" He flashed a grin. "Now, the only thing is finding a brawl, like Prez said." Great. More drama, incoming. She wished him luck, and bailed fast. To dodge his chaotic scheme. School gossip. A fixer caused a chaos. A cute girl hyped Leho's glow. She couldn't stop, gabbing about the bullied geek. Then, boom, he wrecked his bullies. Kangsha heard the tea and frowned. Champ asked if the dweeb actually crushed his hater. Yep, and the biter too. The boxer connected the dots. Kwanso was a total liar. That Blondie is gonna pay big time. Our boy eavesdropped, curious what the boxer thought. Seeing the champ, hated gossip. Mu sighed, no brawl today. Lame. Class was a snooze fest. The whole class was furiously taking notes. But the Earth Lord, bored stiff, he ditched a train outside. Our boy kept his ears open, spying on Kong Cha and his pal, yapping away. When the boxer scratched his head, Mu froze. He knew that muscle build. Worse, he knew how hard those arms hit. Then it hit him. 100%. That was the guy who wrecked him yesterday. Mask or not, you can't fake a build like that. Kang felt eyes on him and spun around, but he didn't. Clock Leho, mostly 'cause the kid was fully healed up. Time for a rematch. Our hero bolted after the champ. The guy panicked, thinking the kid was dragging him to the cops. So he booked it. Confused how the nerd made him, despite the glasses and mask. Kang sprinted, but Mu, fully recovered, was glued to his heels. The boxer tried to gun it, but he was built for power, not cardio. Escape looked grim. He even started thinking that he was freaking out for nothing. No way Leho knew him. Maybe the kid was chasing someone else. Still, Kong kept running, and our hero kept chasing. Full tilt, hoping to lose him. The champ ducked into an alley to hide or fight. Leho hit the corner, ready to brawl, but ... Nobody. He skidded to a halt. He scanned the narrow gap, hunting for Kang's hiding spot. Nothing. Dude vanished. Totally unfair. It was the perfect setup for a throwdown. Jan popped out of his shirt. "Looking for that jerk from yesterday?" the dragon asked. "I can smell him?" Jan hopped to the ground. He claimed he could track him like a bloodhound. That was new. The beast sniffed hard, trying to pinpoint where the boxer went. Suddenly, a yellow sneaker blocked his view. Rude much. Young looked up, ready to start an angry rant, forgetting he can't talk to humans. The class prez loomed over him, staring at the mumbling lizard. Weirded out, the dragon realized he messed up and clammed up. She figured she was imagining things. Needs more sleep. Then she saw him properly and blushed. A repto here, during school. The little guy wasn't gonna play nice for long. He gestured at the human to move it, like right now, but instead, Prez scooped up the lizard for a look, totally not what Yun wanted. He squeaked, mentally screaming for help, too scared to talk. The beast fumed. How dare a mere mortal handle him like a stuffed toy? He took a breath, cooling off to plot his escape. With magic, piece of cake. But Earth's rules totally blocked his mojo. He accidentally grumbled aloud, catching the head girl's attention. She froze. That gecko definitely just spoke. Leho showed up. Young Yan wiggled free and bolted straight for his boss. Gasping for air, he started rambling off Sarah's instantly, swearing he'd have fought back if he wasn't so totally out of it. The girl gawked at our hero, half. Who knew? It was his pet. Still, she couldn't stay salty. She eyed the critter closer, reminded her of her own dually. Your buddy? She asked. Mu shrugged. Something like that. A super chill pal. Kim. Yujin was speechless, totally green with envy over his cool pet. Mu caught the vibe, but he froze up, still clueless about Earth's weird social rules. Yang clung to his boss's jeans, terrified she'd snatch him back. The Earth boss spotted this, and decided to mess with the dragon's head a bit. Smirking, he asked if she wanted the pet. Obviously, she did, but the scaly secretary totally freaked out. Sadly, his boss chose to butter up the head girl. Soon, Yan was in her cute room. She gazed at him, puzzled. Her new pet seemed super ticked off. Just before Leho had grabbed the reptile and shown him off, help me find a guy, he'd said, and he's yours. His expression screamed it's complicated and hinted at a secret agenda. But Kim was so desperate for a pal for Dooley, she caved. She nodded fast, saying, you got a deal. Union was lost. What was his master playing at? Suddenly, Leho let go. The green beast plummeted, flipping over. Lucky for him, he crash-landed right on her head. The dude told his assistant to chill with her, then circle back later. It'll be good for you guys. Dragon shrugged. Was this dirty betrayal or a genius plan? ManhwaCapped is cool. Where you headed? He asked, needing info. The reply shocked both him and the girl. Hitting the training grounds, our hero announced. Stuck in a room, the dragon stood there wondering how a top-tier Earth Lord secretary ended up in this mess. He had to tell Kim that she was now basically on Godmu's payroll since she adopted his aide. When he spilled the beans, she grabbed her chest. You're giving me a heart attack. Kim just cracked up and poked the lizard, swearing to help him in his surly. She puffed out her chest. I'm class prez. I run this show. Dragon Boy was confused, so Yujin broke it down. I'm the big cheese. Number 1, the VIP of homeroom. Young Yin vibed with that. Figured Master wouldn't roll with a total 0. Then he froze. Wait, if you rule, why isn't he the boss? She hesitated, awkwardly mumbling that Leho wasn't exactly ... Top tier. Xe wasn't even on the leaderboard. The lizard gasped. No way, he screamed. Does not compute. Master is the GOAT. Stronger and smarter than all you noobs. Little dude lost it, refusing to believe his master wasn't the alpha. If a girl like you is boss, he reasoned, Leho must be king of the earth at least. He was so intense that the prez just didn't have the energy to clap back. She just sat there, zipped it, and let him rant. Then the pet demanded. New mission, make my master up. She giggled, thinking he was trolling. Deal, one condition. Visit me more. The dragon smirked internally. Gotcha, he thought. Hook, line, and sinker. Now, I can use her to download all the Earth intel I need. You got it, he chirped. He'd hang with Yujin. Anything for the master? Stoked. He mentally pinged Mu. Chill, boss. My new assistant's gonna buff you up. Meanwhile, Mu was already grinding, turning that scrawny body into steel. He crushed every rep possible on the rusty gear, totally nailing it, since muscle control was basically his superpower. Set complete. The Earth Lord hopped down, loving the gains. He was definitely leveling up, thanks to the Dragonstone. He was getting swole fast. Then he got an itch to limp. A wild thought popped up, and he just sent it. Mu cocked Leho's fist, and WHAM smashed the rail hard, and his hand totally fine. Sweet. Ready to brawl for real. The Earth Lord thought back to yesterday's ambusher and perked his ears up. Looks like the mystery attacker ghosted him today. Bomber Mu was thirsty for a fight, practically vibrating. He bailed on the gym, figuring his rival was just another kid stuck in class. The metal bar stood, but it sported a nasty He strutted back to the alley to meet Yujin and the lizard. He strolled down the block, totally clueless that he was a walking stink bomb after class. Leho's puberty hormones were raging and mixed with sweat. The dude smelled right from a mile away. The funk was so loud, the dragon caught a whiff at the girl's pad. She was showing him online pics of the attacker's drip. Union sniffed again. Yep, confirmed. That was definitely his master's possessed bod reeking up the city. He told Kim Yujin later and bailed, faking urgent business. Boom! A second later, the monster yeeted himself out the window, parkouring across roofs. Huge leaps for such a small guy. Physics took a day off. Yan stuck the landing on Mu's shoulder. 10 out of 10. Dragon bragged to the boss about recruiting the girl. She's gonna pledge loyalty like a solid minion now. Suddenly, the duo spotted a brawl popping off in a doorway. Honestly, they almost walked past. But Young Yan caught a vibe and spilled the tea. Leho froze, dying to check if his sidekick was right. In the doorway, the Avenger in his usual gear, towering over some dude eating pavement. Guy's face was mashed potatoes. He winned? Bro, I only stole a bike. Kangcha kicked him to shut him up. Quit yapping, you're annoying me. Glasses cracked. The floor guy still recognized the Avenger. You're wanted. Beat it, before the cops show up. Our hero crept up behind the champ, grinning, found his emesis. Boxer felt a chill, spun around, totally didn't expect company. While he was distracted, the thief tried to scramble up. Yong yelled, weird smell, alert. But Master ignored him, ready to rumble. Dragon kept sniffing and yapping about a funky scent coming from the shop next door. Lil Guy was freaking out. But Mu was already charging, face screaming, let's go. Conchul put a hand up like, chill, I ain't attacking. Our boy was sprinting and thirsty for a scrap. Champ yelled, yo, big misunderstanding here. My bad for last time, he said, guarding up just in case. Leho rushed him but stopped short, never throws the first punch. He froze, daring Kangcha to swing first. Smirking, ready for chaos. But literally nothing happened. Just two dudes in a staring contest. Mu wanted blood. The other guy just wanted peace. Awkward silence, like someone lagged out the game server. Just then, some dude swiped the Avenger's beat stick right out of his holster. This bikejacker wasn't some basic NPC. He wanted major payback on the guy who wrecked him. Screaming he'd delete him. The guy swung hard to make it happen. Kang's got mad reflexes, so he dodged. Obviously, because of that, the stick kept flying and was aiming for Leho's dome. He didn't even try to move. He waited for the hit-free pass to smack back, guilt-free, and boom, mission accomplished. The criminal swung full force. Ignoring that, total party foul. Moose grinned, first hit's in. Time to go beast mode. First, he boots his rival away with a quick kick to keep Kang from stealing his kill. The baton slipped and did a little spin in the air. Like it chose a new player, Leho snatched it. Guess his fists get a break. It's hammering time. He tapped the robber's collarbone. Like, yo, you hit me first. Now you gotta pay the tax. Dude was terrified but froze. The hit landed like lightning. Then the Earth Lord headbutts him. His fave move, Bandit clutched his head, crying, my bad, total accident. But Mu kept swinging that stick. Zero chill. Hits rained down, non-stop. And the bad guy kept screaming, sounding way more sorry now. Finally, the dude gave up and just flopped over. Mu smirked as he checked out his handiwork. Not bad, but stomping noobs isn't a real fight. Kinda sad. When he first spawned here, grinding XP was actually hard. Every enemy was a boss fight for his weak stats. So he had to use big brain strats to win. Even losing to Kong felt like a legit quest. Now, too easy. He was bored to tears. Zero fun. He needed a cooler opponent. Oh, right? The boxer? He spun around fast. Champ was gone. Mu looked around, super bummed. Turns out, the Avenger ghosted the second the fight started. He saw Mu go crazy, and figured his stick wasn't worth the drama. Leho's grin was nightmare fuel, and the champ wondered how this kid had GPS on him. He ran without looking, and tripped over the dragon. Yunul sniffed him, wondering how long it had been since lunch. This dude smelled delicious. Somehow, the boxer recovered, kicked the beast, and booked it. Starving Zhong just face-planted on the floor as his tasty snack bailed and bolted home. Dude lived nearby, so he reached his crib in minutes. Burrs and Psy eating, his kicks off instantly. That empty case hit him right in the feels. Why was that guy so hyped? Was he seriously just stoked about throwing hands? Then Haina, his ex-ballerina, breezed in. She is 26 now and totally done with dance. She bragged about bagging another thug today. Swapped tutus for law school and loves locking dudes up. Hannah tapped his shoulder and started flexing, but he was grumpy and told her to chill out. Bro asked if she would get salty. She got wrecked, implying he might snap. But she kept trolling while getting serious. She just demanded eggless ramen for dinner. Great, now he is stuck on chef duty. Total bummer. He realized brawling doesn't even phase the ex-dancer anymore, which is cool. But he has changed since flattening her stalker. Staring at the pot, he realized he is always raging, and it definitely wasn't. The same vibe as sport boxing. Water bubbled while he recalled his rookie days. Next morning, he dragged himself to school, packing the lizard and that baton. Dragon Boy said sorry for being hangry yesterday. He sported an ear bandage, matching that one bully. Then this bald kid, Clint, The dragon was just a lizard. So cringe. He spotted the prez and hollered at her. She wasn't paying attention, then spun around. Seeing the pet, she squealed like it was Christmas. Mu asked if she got the whole backstory. She paused, still totally confused. She recalled the pet rules while he asked about Hoodie Guy. Prez said if he meant the masked dude, always scrapping. That is ill. Walking on, he asked, what is up with that name? She said it is a mashup for a guy who beats everyone. Then she asked why they beefed. He shrugged, clueless. Mu noticed his attacker always flees. Next time, he ain't escaping without talking. The boxer had officially had enough. Stalking our boy for ages. He finally barked. Sit tight, I'll come get you later. Like nothing happened, Kang grabbed his stick, zooming past while Leho legit shook with hype. Yujin was like, what the heck? Wondering if they knew the champ. Mr. Earthlord grinned, dropping 2 words. Totally sure it was him. All-class dude's brain was fried, obsessing over the big brawl. He tried to chill, telling himself to hang tight, but Mu was itching to throw hands so bad he was bouncing. Union stuck to his leg, felt every bit of his owner's crazy energy. By dinner, gang got told. Grub first, then drag yourselves to the 3rd floor. Union looked green and super queasy. So Mu passed him to Yujin, asking her to babysit cause he was busy. She was totally stoked. She squeezed the dragon, psyched to finally get some playtime. She bounced to the door, radiating joy. You could spot a mile away. That happy vibe lingered even after she bailed and rounded the corner. Speaking of doors, a hand slapped it open instantly with a squeak. Enter Kong Cha. He peeked inside, and Mu grinned. Knew you'd show up, bro. The boxer just shrugged. Cool. Since he waited quietly, no drama needed. Dude whipped out gloves and geared up while our hero Kenko finished and asked, Leho, you into scrappin' or what? He paused, then admitted it wasn't really about the brawl, but the rush of pain making him tougher. Only fighting made him feel alive and totally beastly. The muscle burn made him feel like boss of his body and the world. Earthlord grinned, huge, and despite who he faced, said that's exactly why he brawls. Boxer stared like he was nuts. School kid face? Psycho words. Still, Kong grabbed 2 gloves and chucked them at our hero. At first, it looked like Leho would whiff. Dude just froze like a statue. Kong pictured the gloves bouncing off the nerd's dome. His brain raced, but Mu was way quicker. Skipping the whole champ, can't hit a civilian speech? He gloved up and charged. He swung fast, but the boxer had mad reflexes and dodged. Caught off guard by the blitz. Kang winced, struggling to chill, and hissed, impatient nerd. The dude guarded up, not getting the rush, but getting mad was useless. Dude showed up, ready to throw hands, whiffed every punch. Earthlord backed off, wheezing and stomping like a brat. King Sha needed to chill, so he decided to treat this beatdown like a friendly game. Keep the drama in check, and he's golden. Get loose, get fast, then bring the real pain. Boom, nailed it. Caught the guy mid, landed 1 solid hit, then smacked another. Now it's a real showdown. Champ lunged again, but realized something weird. He was actually digging this vibe. Like, super fun. Told his brain to shut up. Just let the energy flow. Best idea ever. Hits were landing way harder now. Full power mode. Opponent had to block fast or get wrecked. Got that crazy rush. Same as Mu back then. Kong Ko was totally loving the chaos. Cupid, that weird grin he'd seen earlier. Looked just like Leho Mu. Hero guy was hyped too. Boxing's cool, but kinda scary without that power-up ball. But now, he's built for this. Time to party. Let the beatdown begin. Meanwhile, night school was boring folks on floor 3. Not everyone was grinding. One dude was out cold. Snort so loud he scared himself awake. Nearly bailed. Sat up, blinked, scanned the room. Confused? Few others drooling on books, most pretending to work. They wiped his face. Okay, wake up, he thought. Spotted a candy bar on his desk. Time was 5:48. Note asked, why you always sleepin'? Maybe he's a zombie. Not too late to dip. Grab the snack and the note. Rip the wrapper. Sprinted downstairs. Gotta fly. Clock ticking. Stopped the floor down for a munch. Ate it. Stress. Gone. We good? Then he saw 2 shadows throwing down in a class. Guess others were ditching to. Ken was wailing on Leho, who blocked everything. Arms wide. But fists weren't enough anymore. Legs came out to play. Boom. Knee strike. Booted the guy back. Opponent stayed chill though. Jump kick. Boxer went flying. The floor rolled back, covering his mug with gloves. Popped back up, ready for round 2, whining that kicks are illegal in boxing. Leho was like, what's boxing? Then he yeeted himself into a jump attack while the champ stood there confused. Dude yelled that nobody said fists only. Legs are fair game too. He booted Kong Corey so hard the guy bounced back like he got shot. Kong felt that hit and wondered where the nerd got those gains. Meanwhile, Mr. Earthlord was already spinning kicks like a human helicopter. Boxer tried blocking but kept backing up, praying the dude wouldn't wreck his legs. Mu went psychic mode and aimed right for Kang's shin. That hit would have been nasty, since he targeted a weak spot below the knee. Total knockout zone. But weirdly enough, the hit was weak sauce. Zero power left in the tank. Glitch in the matrix. Boxer stood firm. Leho almost tripped. Totally weird compared to the earlier stunts. Our boy backed off real quick, realizing the magic buff faded. No more super strength. He kept grinning though, not letting his enemies see that things just got real. 5 more minutes of juice, and he'd have one. Now, doomed. Kang had a gut feeling, and sensed the vibe shift. Asked if he was out of gas. That same cocky Earth Lord smirk plastered back on his face. Boxer laughed, thinking he was tired. He smiled back, faking it. Both dudes just cracked up, but for different reasons. While Kang roared with laughter, Leho spotted a creeper in the door window. It was Chocobar guy, skipping class again, just munching and staring blankly. Hearing them giggle, the kid bailed, calling them losers. What a weirdo. Our boy looked disgusted, thinking the guy was cringe and irrelevant. Meanwhile, Boxer boy rushed to attack, hype levels rising. Mo hopped up to kick him by some time. Bad move. Kong switched up and smashed his right knee. His weak frame couldn't take it. He hung there shaken in agony. Then a fist to the face stopped the shakes. Now he was flying sideways, crashed into desks like a bowling ball. Moose slammed into the wall, relieved his weak bod couldn't match Kenko's muscles. One more time. He wished Earth had magic. Being a wizard would be cool right now. Mr. Earthlord tried to cast a spell, but realized he was just stage. Total bummer. Still, time to get up. First try. He got on one knee. Better than face planting, I guess. Then Moose stood tall. Weirdly, magic sparkle started buzzing in his hand. He made a tight fist, shoving every bit of juice he had into it. Ready for one, Megas. He lunged at the dude, hand raised high, then shouted like he'd already won the lottery. Kenko just caught the fist midair, like catching a slow fly. Honestly, it looked like a magic trick. The boxer smirked, thought only your legs were jelly. Guess your arms are too. The champ didn't get to finish his trash talk cause a weird noise behind the door distracted him. Getting distracted meant eating moves, punched, weak, but annoying. The dude was so shocked. Almost yelped why he think one grabbed arm meant game over. Kenko figured, even if the nerd hit like a pillow, he shouldn't take hits. His head was spinning. He snagged Leho's other wrist, but kept feeling super dizzy. That was totally new. Sparkles floated around him. Great, now he was seeing things. Right then, Mu unleashed his epic headbutt. Fingers crossed it worked. And bam, it did. Kenko stumbled back, clutching a busted nose. Ouch. Our boy was stoked. Guess his god tier tricks worked here after all. Magic 101. Gather mana, squeeze it into one spot. But Earth is totally messy cause dust and oxygen get in the way. Still, there's a hack. Enough mana burns off the junk and cleans itself up. Since Earth bans that stuff, the process flops. Mana builds up, then just ghosts you immediately. But it squeezes the air and cleans the oxygen, making a mini boom or shockwave. Mu didn't think that glitch would help. And now, he eyed his foe, tongue poking out like a weirdo. Maybe he could actually give Kenko his signature Earthlord stamp. He leaned in close. Suddenly, the boxer's hand flew up and smashed his face, stopping him from snacking on an ear. The boxer yelled to quit the weird stuff. Cut it out. Freak. Pop. He bounced right onto his sneakers. Hands up. I fold. You win. Just chill with the boundaries. Champ tried to spill some tea, but Leho slapped a hand over his trap. Save it for the sequel. Chatdad Kong spun around, stomping off and grumbling about a rematch. Mu felt kinda bummed out. His fave rival had 0 bruises. Total letdown. Need to fix that later. Kim's house was totally blacked out, save for her room glowing bright. Young was all set to bounce, lugging a backpack that looked way too heavy for his tiny shoulders. The lizard kept whining about the weight. She was super chill, telling him to hit her up if he needed whatever. Stressed, the Earthlord's secretary dragged himself toward his boss's scent. Kang dashed out to link up. Then fest-palmed, hard dude totally left his bag in class. The dragon, being salty, instantly recalled getting kicked by this punk. Mana sparked in his claw. Yonan was ready for payback. The boxer got dizzy again. Total deja vu. Then he spotted a weird green lizard digging in his pack. Total bait. The lizard bared teeth and lunged at the champ. With 0.16 reaction speed, he swatted the beast. Though he shrieked in panic, Jungyang ended up code on the concrete. Kang checked the critter, confused, clueless about the thing. Kid just grabbed his bag and dipped, leaving it there. That's how Mu found his SEC after school, mulling over the fight. He was kinda weirded out by the scene and asked Yonan what went down, but got 0 reply. For a bit, The dragon just gaped like a fish, speechless. Next morning, our hero rocked the fit. Kim bought him the backpack. Perfect lizard carrier. The little guy wouldn't stop yapping from back there, like asking if Moo dug the new drip. The dragon gloated. His training rocked. The vice cap was slaying his sidekick. Seeing random peeps, eyeing his weird horns, Yan decided to ghost into the backpack. That Rondo was just Kongsha in fresh gear. But the boxer wasn't eyeing the lizard. He hollered at Leho. Why rock a uni on Saturday? Weird flex. So he was like, yo. Moo was clueless about Saturday. His silence creeped the champ out. Gripping his coat, he wondered what was up with this guy. Never met a weirder student than King. The kid sighed. Since Leho loved brawling, he had to speak. Leho lied, claiming he hated it but had zero choice. The boxer wasn't buying it. He'd seen that manic grin He told our hero to tag along, promising that if he said yes, boredom was off the table. Fights were guaranteed. Best offer ever. Moo played it cool though, just nodding. Once the coast was clear, Moo finally let a grin rip, stretching ear to her, since the timing was finally right. Still beaming, he told Kongsha, "You're a legend, bro." Facts. The Earth Lord hyped himself up, begging to go somewhere to brawl, but Bacha was like, nah, not what I meant. No instant rumble. Moo started steaming and throwing a fit. The boxer's explanation was so lame, it made Yan want to hurl. Friday morning at Guryogi High. Same old boring drama. Bathroom access here was basically on lockdown, guarded by seniors and totally off limits during class. It was really just a VIP lounge for shady senior deals. That same bike-snatching creep entered, flashing cash that was sadly way too short for the gig. Young Cho, a 19-year-old super senior, lost his cool. The goon screamed it was Ilheim's bad, claiming if he had actually fenced the bike, he'd be rolling in dough. The senior smashed the wall, raining curses on Il. He hated it when scrubs messed up his master plans. He screamed he needed cash to cover the debt, plus interest. So Ilheim better conjure up a solution. Fast. Young Cho paused, flipped the script, and hissed. Assemble the crew. Saturday night, Kang met Leho to make good on his promise. The boxer admitted he used to pummel folks out of pure rage. But now, he actually dug the thrill. Hero Boy asked, why waste time on noobs? Just fight me. The champ gave him a dead stare. Save the breath. Our rematch is coming soon. Moo and huh? But Kongsha didn't have time to explain. He cocked his head. Spidey senses, tingling drama, inbound. First thing, the jock noticed. The stench of cheap darts. As a non-smoker, his nose twitched instantly at the funk. Gray clouds swallowed them, so the boxer masked up. How many chimneys were puffing to make it reek this bad? Turns out, barely any. Through the haze, he spotted two dudes, yapping loudly. Net brace guy recognized Kong and muttered, jackpot, baby. One punk mentioned gaming, so the champ stepped up. Why are you two clowning around scaring folks? He asked. The goons just laughed. None of your business, brah. Now, cough up the wallet. Right now, talk is cheap. Right in the kisser. The chatter was super annoying. Then the goons realized they were cooked. Guy number 2 screamed at Silhami and tried to bail. Dust settled, and surprise. Surprise. A whole convention of scammers. But the name of vendors sent them spiraling. Kang was totally confused. Way more bad guys than he signed up for. He told Leho to grab his hand, but the kid was lagging. Keep up, the boxer yelled, diving into the mosh pit. This beatdown was going to be legendary. Moo masked up with a vest, waiting, dying to scrap but needed an excuse. Suddenly, a floored punk grabbed his ankle. Weak move, but it counts as provocation. Thug winced, asking if this shrimp was with the Avenger. Earthlord grinned. Did you just touch me? You grabbed me, he yelled. Rip buddy, no mercy. Moo swung a haymaker. Happy as a kid in a candy store. Took barely 5 minutes to wreck the whole crew. Weak sauce, no cardio, noodle arms. Kang grabbed a blue purse, asking the redhead victim if she was okay. She was bawling but snatched her stuff back. Keeping his mouth shut, the boxer suddenly realized it was the girl from school, praying she doesn't clock him. Meanwhile, the dragon pinged his boss. Hostels at 6 o'clock. Earlier, a goon texted the boss. Targets by the store alley. The big boss went ballistic immediately, roaring that they finally caught that piece of trash. And they zoomed straight to the location. Kong tried to chill, but no baton time. Weapon out. Moo, inside Leho, was itching to strike first. Kid was grinning under that mask, eyes sparkling like he was staring at a pizza. The boss yelled, get him. Bandits swarmed our boys like angry bees. Leo's smirk was so creepy the bad guys actually hesitated. Smart move. Honestly, Earthlord flattened the first few idiots who tried him, but he caught a slap to the face, making him even hungrier for violence. Kinda hard to fight back from the floor. The boss was actually Boss grabbed the kid to hoist him up. Why are there two of these guys? He wondered. Just then, The class skipper who saw Leho fighting earlier was staring at his phone, waiting. Meeting his sis? But she was totally laggy. At least that's what Hyun Lee figured. Walking her route, he spotted an alley scrap. He swore aloud. He freaking hated thugs. Violence grossed him out. Fighting was total trash. Then he squinted. Was he tripping or seeing things? He saw his little sis guarded by two dudes. One was already code flat. Hejin's eyes went straight savage. Crazy scene, but he couldn't just chill there. See, dude had baggage. His pop was a pro boxer, winning title after title. The man got hooked on being the toughest beast alive. Trained 20, got seriously, but he snapped, bringing ring rage home to the kids. Hejin knew his dad had morphed into a legit monster. He wanted to bail, to escape the beat, but couldn't leave, or the monster would hurt his fave person. The one he took every punch for. The one he suffered hell for. The shaking girl hiding silently in the closet. Lil Sis Hedge was why he took the old man's rage. Bruises and snapped bones for ages. He was too scared to clap back. But he grew up watching dad's ring fights, learning moves and training on the low, hating every so Hyjin leveled up without knowing. One day, dad swung, and he just had to swing back. He did. Turns out, dude was crazy strong. Now he knew he could handle himself and save his sis from the beast. For Hugh Hun, throwing hands meant survival. His dad went totally ballistic, screaming curses and making him fear for his life. The old man swore he'd end his ungrateful brat right there. That's when the kid's eyes went dead cold for the first time. No more taking it. Things went sideways fast, and he took out the monster. The judge looked at the whole mess, and since neighbors spilled the tea on the abuse, he got off light. But Hun was stuck balancing school and heavy lifting gigs just to keep his little sis fed. Getting sick or hurt wasn't an option, with 2 lives on the line. So he swore to keep his HP bar full at all times. Seeing folks reckless with their bodies made him totally look down on them, especially the nuts doing extreme sports for a paycheck. Hejin generally hated violence. Fighting was definitely not his aesthetic, but this situation hit different. He realized his little sister was in major trouble again. Even with backup, things were looking pretty doomed. Jun was 19 and totally over her nightmare childhood, but the PTSD kicked in. Hyun yelled, ready to throw hands for her. Meanwhile, the big boss glared at Lee, face planted on the ground, looking exactly like Ilhi. The panicked dragon tried to warn him, but his master was out cold. A voice from behind chirped, "Wrong guy," leaving the thug shook. Bam! A savage kick crushed his ankle. Rookie mistake. Never get distracted. The crook's eyes popped as he dropped to his knees. Weirdly, the dude didn't even make a peep. A hand yanked his hair back. Who dared disrespect the boss? He never found out, because the attacker slammed his face into the pavement. Brutal. Jungyang tried waking his master so they could dip out fast. No time Yan was sprinting without looking. He was beelining for his sis, so he used the dragon backpack as a literal launch pad. He was so fast, he was just a red blur zooming by. Kung Cha just froze right there. He'd caught a bunch of bandits, but this new guy was wild. The newcomer was mowing down goons, heading his way. Suddenly, the champ ran out of enemies. He stood there, fists up, contemplating his life choices. Hejin fought like a superhero with insane speed and skills. His eyes blazed like he had straight-up superpowers. Nope, just pure rage and grit. He squared up to the boxer, thinking he was just another gang member, but the guy tried to say, "Chill, bruh." Dun yelled that she was actually totally fine, and that this dude was protecting her. Young Cho was shook. His classmate had a brother, brand new info, and they were pretty tight friends. Before it clicked, Hyun was in his face with a headbutt. Kang Cho reacted fast, but not fast enough. He dampened the hit, but still got clobbered. Bro shoved his chest to make sure he stayed down. He flew back, trying to throw one last kick, but failed and hit the dirt hard. Hyun grabbed his sis. "Let's bail, right now." She tried to explain, but he wasn't listening to a word. Kong Ko started getting up, grabbing his baton. The big boss woke up, totally furious, and blocked the couple's escape route like a final boss. He screamed that he didn't get a single thing, or where these 3 punks had spawned from. Whatever, he was going to delete them all. Hun stayed silent, just winding up a haymaker. Dude clearly wasn't rattled by the thug's trash talk, but before he could swing, a wild fist smashed the thug's jaw out of nowhere. Intermu, back from dreamland, thanks to the dragons. Help, totally ignoring the runaway advice he got earlier. Hejin was shook, trying to process who this savior dude was. But the Sibs didn't stick around to chat. They grabbed hands and booked it out of there. Fast, Leho cracked up, wishing the thug peace, while Kong screamed at him to cover his mug. Meanwhile, Bossman wasn't actually dead. He groggily tried to stand, but only caught a glimpse of 2 shadows sprinting like maniacs to the end of the alley. The thug cursed up a storm, totally driven by pure salty revenge. Now, a sketchy doodle of a guy popped up on the board. It looked goofy, but kinda matched the real deal. Kang told Mu he saw this dude, Young Cho, a local bad boy, earlier today. Boxer drew a map marking the 3 high schools and the gang lords running them. Young Cho, Kim Chong-gu, and Kwak Doon. The Godori crew, usually just minor troublemakers. Nothing huge. But lately, they started shaking kids down for cash. Turns out, the peeps they just fought were bullied by Looks like the head honcho, Young Cho, leveled up to actual criminal status recently. Our hero listened to this lecture, but understood zilch, since he's new to Earth. So Mu asked, again, what the heck that meant, gangster versus hool? What's the diff? Why is stealing cash bad? What's a high school? Kong raged, yelling at him to use his brain. Or is it just decoration? Right then, Yanan snapped, bit the boxer, and declared he was done with the disrespect. The dragon kept loudly trash-talking, barely holding back from exploding with anger. Kong froze, totally confused. Where'd this talking frog come from? Yonyan hated being called a frog. Mu introed him as a pal, but didn't explain the talking part. Champ went on a rant about how sus this guy was didn't know Saturday. Hangin' with a talkin' frog. Alien vibes. Mu noted the guy was sharp, then casually dropped the I'm a god bomb. Kong called him an idiot. Mu asked, what's an alien? What's an idiot? All this drama went down in the head boy's crib. She was busy stitching in her room, but the racket dragged her out. Then she spotted Yan and totally forgot to be mad. Eugene even told him to crash there as long as he wants. The champ kept digging, asking Leho if that dude was the target. Ignoring that, he just asked why Kong Cho threw hands himself. He mumbled about hating the boss, but his brain was on dig. Mu was actually buzzing, finally feeling that adrenaline kick again. And not just the rush, but actually facing a giant way out of his weight class. Cracking that code took him forever. Winning felt epic. Leho admitted his current bod is kinda weak. Kong Cho agreed his stamina was trash and told him to hit the gym. Crossing his arms, our hero asked for more than just boxing drills. The dude said he needed it harder and rougher, making Yujin turn bright red. While Mu tried to explain, Union was scrolling on his phone. When he found the gold, the dragon clenched the phone in his teeth and showed the boss. Screen showed something weird. A redhead in a robe was winking at thin air. Then she gutted someone so fast you barely saw it happen. Dude hit the floor, totally out cold. Speaker said, challenge failed, confusing the Earth Lord. Number 13 took the win. Apparently, any kid could fight there for 1 million won. They squinted at the info. Saturdays at 7 o'clock in Seat Park. Closer look, the floored loser was totally Kim Jong. Leho asked if that was their guy and got a solid yes. Our hero shut the phone, grinning. He knew exactly what to do next. Crush Young Cho, then the Godori crew, all in a few days. Up in the God realm, things were getting spicy too. Unlike Earth, they had mana and creepy dark magic on tap. Lucifer's mana spikes popped up whenever the Demon King threw a tantrum. Most of heaven shook because the number 2 god was raging. But Mu's turf, the Earth God Zone, got it worst since it was left unguarded. Lucifer hated his guts and flew over to get some payback. Totally flopped though. He smashed the Earth barrier tons of times. But zilch happened. Mu's planet stayed perfectly safe. That zone was totally locked down from outsiders. Lucifer wanted to ball. But villains gotta keep their cool, he thought back. To Mu, smashing Elmer's shield like it was glass. Just to ditch Leho, why is it so easy for that jerk? Lucy growled, craving Earth, Lord Power. Not happening yet. Young Cho was totally fuming. At our guy, or well Ilheim's whole vibe, he even made the exact same face. Losing to that enemy replayed in his head. He wanted to scream. He ducked into a bathroom stall and punched the door like it owed him cash. Outside, he met the bike thief to shake him down. The kid was totally broke, but tossed his boss the wallet and lost. Cho chilled and dumped it out. Barely anything inside. Just loose change, hit the floor. 0 bills. The gangster was super bummed out. He griped about broke kids. Can't even buy smokes now. Then Lita Chun's student ID dropped out of the wallet, which was way more interesting. Chill squinted. How does this junk help him? Then it clicked. The boss grinned. Guess this ID card might actually work. Next day Mu and Union hit the arena park. They hugged the fence, checking the route. Prez drew the map. But the dragon was confused. Lost? Had to find a small alley, then hang a right. Mu was glued to his phone. Missed the jogger coming. Yang had bad gas. And talked between toots, saying sorry. The dog caught a whiff, almost passed, but nope. The pooch froze, squinting hard. Never smelled alien funk before. Confused first, then it snarled. Eyes poppin'. Totally mad and wanted to bite, but hesitated. It thought for a split second, and the rat dog jumped and bit the dragon's bag. Our guy didn't even notice, and kept walking. Dog eye left, but Zhang Yong suffered. Near tears, glaring back while giving directions. It was totally obvious. He was fuming. Revenge is coming. Once magic returns. A couple of minutes later, they finally made it. Saw a gazebo with shady silhouettes ahead. That ginger champ from last time was checking folks in, basically telling everyone hard pass. Moo rolled up to the desk. Hottie was shook seeing a school uni on a Saturday. "Who are you?" she asked. Started off chill enough. She asked for his school rep. So the dragon dude mumbled, Badeli High. She quizzed his fighting stats, and Mr. Earthlord actually answered. But first, he had to brain check himself. Don't go full gob mode yet. So he just shrugged. I dabble in boxing. Then he nervously asked if that cut it for the comp, cause our hero was weirdly stressing about getting rejected. She was like, relax, we take wrestlers, boxers, street brawlers, it's all good. Then bro decided to flex a bit more and started tallying his fights from just last week. He dropped a number, and at first Moo almost bragged about his 3 million years of XP, but got shy. Dude behind him spat, thinking some total noob had just walked in, but Red was vibing with it. She grinned and told our boy, you're in. Then came the pay-up, hand 50,000 for entry. Leho looked clueless. Luckily, his squad prepped cash, so the dragon quietly slid the dough over. Or rather, Mr. Moo's secretary swiped the boss's pink wallet. She's probably tearing her room apart now. Why she counted, Yon dug for extra cash, but his pockets were empty. The cutie counted 44,000. Dragon handed another bill, making it 46,000 total. Red grinned. Close enough. Go on ahead. Leho stepped up. Finally, clear shot to the arena to make bank doing what he loved. Scrapping. Time to scope the room for a sweet spot, and anyone worth punching. First guy, moon-spotted war. Up, green cap and hoodie. Lurking in the back, face totally shadowed. Dude's muscles were swollen enough to actually impress a god. Gaima was clearly ripped, but something about his build felt off. Our hero figured it might be that Ghidorah creeper from yesterday. Suddenly, Leho clocked red nail polish on the guy's fingers. Weird flex. Okay. The redhead then yelled that it was go time and rushed to intro the champ. This fighter had been boss for 13 weeks, undefeated. Shockingly, it was a girl nicknamed Whistle. Moo knew this was his shot. Missing it would be a total sin. So he charged in. The admin was streaming but spun around seeing our guy fist-pumping on screen. She announced the brawl starts once both sides say game on. Leho grinned huge. He was totally born ready. Plus, Earthlord decided why? Wait, he stepped up, ready to throw hands first. But the admin blocked him. Hold up, she said. Rules first. Champ, you gotta agree. The girl looked shook. Yo, what are you doing? She asked. Panicked. Didn't you watch the stream, clueless much? A paper popped up in front of our hero. Tournament info plus prize. 1,000,001? The bracket listed all the fighters' names. Red crossed, 3 out. Only fight 4 is happening now, she explained. That dog walker dude we know stepped up. Hard to miss that weird pigtail hairstyle. Leho got introed as a fighter for 3 million years. Yup, that's his tag now. 3 million year vet. He's facing a kung fu pro. Crowd went wild for the master. Bets started flying. Totally, even split. The cash piles weren't huge for either guy. Zhongyang was dying to see the master fight. Draggy bet on Earth, Lord. But then barking distraction. That gross chihuahua caught a familiar scent and snarled at the green guy. Ear-splitting yaps. This beast was so aggro, it was honestly crazy how much rage fit in that tiny body. Zhongyang recalled the attack. Vengeance, time for the rat. He flew out the bag, zooming over kids to wreck his enemy. The dragon hit the pavement by his boss, facing the dog, looking fierce. Moo blinked. God asked, Bro, what's up? Why are you here? The beast didn't reply, eyes raging. He just hissed. Come get some. The dog shook its head like it had bugs in its ears. Actually, it was ditching the leash. Boom. Dog jumps to master's feet, ready to throw down. Kung Fu guy was shocked and asked how Cerberus got loose and why he ran up. Crowd screamed crazy, but Red realized. Pet fight equals Vira gold, she yelled. Fighters and pets facing off. The fighter battling for 3 million years versus the Kung Fu master. Match 2. Yang versus Cerberus. Gonna be wild? The crowd started buzzing about the weird green lizard thing with wings. Red pointed at the cam. Let the double match begin. The Kung Fu dude smacked a fist into his palm, bragging to Moo about his animal-style moves. He did a claw hand, claiming it hopeless for a human to beat a predator. Serious danger vibes. The kid just rushed in to attack. Our hero paused, trying to process this weird flex. While gliding over, the rival kept yapping, saying he'd start with a soft, distracting tiger style. Before he could finish monologuing, he caught a fist right in the gut. He screamed in pain. Loudy nearly blew out Leho's eardrums right next to him. A split second later, the dude is floored. Done fighting. He mocked that, even if The guy cosplays animals. He's just human. Nothing special. The master got up, feeling like they barely started, but the vibe was already totally off. He walked to a wall that looked way too fake for a park. Looked like rain falling, but probably just a glitch. Rival saw, out of options, and turned to the master. Sensei telepathically warned that it was super risky and he shouldn't use that move. Fighter said no choice and started spinning his hands weirdly. Then he slammed one onto the rock, making a creepy glow pop up. Crowd knew things were about to get spicy. Suddenly, Bone started snapping. His hand morphed into a beast claw, cracking the stone. The Earth Lord watched, totally amused by the drama. Union locked in, growling and ready to brawl. He realized he was used to magic, making his melee skills kind of trash. Meanwhile, the dog lit up just like his owner's hand. The Chihuahua went full demon mode, drool flying everywhere. Thing looked psycho, eyes bugging out and spinning 360 degrees. Then the pup twitched and looked like its head was glitching out like a Cerberus. Its body split apart, and the redhead shouted it out loud. Host yelled about a ninja dog, but the dude called it Chihuahua style. Dragon freaked. Cerberus kept trying to chomp Young, who was guessing which head was legit. Figured he couldn't miss if he just swiped, and the dog snapped back to normal. Didn't stop it from latching onto the dragon's neck, biting hard. Young managed to drop and roll, ditching the Chihuahua while the host hyped up the pet drama. The dog squared up again, snarling like a mini demon. Totally zero. Meanwhile, its owner went full beast mode, growling on all fours with a weird glow. Then he pulled a super sneaky move, creeping forward like a predator stalking lunch. Then bam, dude launched a kick and threw himself at our boy. The crowd cracked up, roasting the guy for crawling around like that. Only his boss stayed chill. Leho's eyes were lit, but he stood still, waiting to read the guy's cringe moves so he could counter. The master swiped at Mu with a tiger paw. Honestly, looked kinda goofy. What was even weirder? That paw mashed Mu's face with soft pads, not claws. Then snap, the vibe flipped, and our hero's face got sliced up. He clutched his mug while Beast Boy hopped back to check his work. Mu figured if that was a legit tiger paw, instead of some dude's hand, he'd be toast. Bro realized it would have been game over. Luckily, the style was just cosplaydic. Give the guy actual monster strength. Meanwhile, the fighter crouched low to the floor, prepping another silly strike at the Earth Lord. But hey, the move actually worked. The guy really got his muscles twitching like a cat. Our hero noticed. He blocked it but stood there, confused, totally stumped. He couldn't figure out how to clap back, and couldn't guess the guy's next wacky move. But Mu knew the vibe. He wanted a brawl, so it was go time. A grin spread across his face. The yapping Chihuahua distracted him, and boom, he knew how to handle this guy. Just treat the dude like a dog, same as a pet. Easy read. Yang and Cerberus collided and wrestled, while Leho braced for the master's next rush. The guy was already charging at him, crawling on all fours. Again, suddenly, Earth Lord dropped a knee, dipping lower than the guy expected. He coiled his leg muscles tight, ready to spring up, last second. Just as the fighter made his big leap, which was meant to be the finisher, our hero yeeted himself. Mistwa floated over the fighter, leaving him dazed with his paw up. Right then, the god twisted, stomped down, and even the host shut up to film the carnage. Time basically froze, and the martial arts dude looked up and cursed when he saw Mu coming. Then splot, both feet stomped, his head bones crunched, teeth rattled. Dude just straight up folded, hit the deck while Leho stomped his back, totally flattening the poor guy. Mr. Earthlord smirked, saying Sky Beats 4 legs learned it that eons ago. Our hero pulled a few knee jabs just to make sure the dude stayed down for the count. Guess only his ponytail survived the wreckage. Game over. The crowd went absolutely bonkers. Wild finish. Mu peeked sideways, worried about Yan, had to check if his assistant was still breathing. Guy was out cold. Then, his dog bolted at Leho, barking mad. Mu stared down the hound. Poop looked confused, but clearly hated our hero's guts. Suddenly, the mutt hopped right on his back. Tiny Dog used some weird size swap cheat code logic. Ref yelled that the Kung Fu Master and his dog just got wrecked, declaring the 3 million-year warrior the winner. God dude stared at the ponytail, his beaten foe, licking his lips like a total creep. Some kid in the stands instantly Googled lizard prices. Yang yelled, no magic allowed. Bummed out. Organizer marked the fighter out with a big red X. Moving on. Match 6 picked who fights the 13-time champ. Mu was hype. Redhead said the ancient fighter was up. Cue. Applause. He was facing a boxer named World Bronze. Cool nickname, but the diamond turned out to be Blondie gritted his teeth. One loss already, but seeing Leho here? Total nightmare. Hero teased his ear bandage, would mess him up savage joke. Smiled like, look who it is. But, Boxer Dude was definitely not vibing with this reunion. Recalling the last loss, he was sweating, ready to cry. Figured good defense meant he might actually win this. Mu thought the same and felt pretty good. Redhead shouted the names. Again, hype in the final matchup. Fight start. Our guy raised a fist, flashing that scary signature grin. When all swung back, yelling he'd totally win this time. Fist smashed so hard. Crowd swore, literal sparks flew everywhere. Mu's arm instantly screamed, pain hitting like a truck. He jumped back, yelping, hitting with anything but the fist. Big yikes for a start. Guano's flexing his cast, blaming our guy. Dude totally had it coming. Leo's gripping his arm, trying not to cry. Spoiler, it's not working. He needs to chill. Actually, nope, dude is absolutely buzzing with joy. Vibing on that I'm alive feeling. Total rush. Blondie didn't think he'd be the entertainment for the night. Awkward, realizing this kid is bonkers. He takes a big step back. Nope, threat level high. Time to play it cool and stay safe. Stick to the plan and it's smooth sailing. No drama. Boxer tries a flashy combo head. Then surprise kickbat Leho. Thought this was a fair fight. Psych. Only flaw, Mu has literally zero clue how boxing rules work. So he's ready for chaos. Logic totally out the window. Boxer launches a knee strike right after those hooks. Super sneaky. Leho reads him like a book, punching that leg midair. Plus, get this, our main guy, recalled that trick Kong used on him. Worked then, works now. Now, Blondie is stuck in that exact spot. Tables turned, spinning, shaking, looking absolutely shook. Dude is glitching out. Leo doesn't wait. Swings again. Boxer barely cushions it. Close call. Another move snatched from his new pal. Copycat skills on point. Dude is basically a sponge, learning everything in real time. Rival drops like a sack of potatoes. Totally. That last hit just straight up yeeted him. Lights out. Perfect time for Mu's signature finisher. He took the shot. Crowd is shook. Jaws on the floor. Kids, absolutely savage. Finals time. Now we know who faces the 13-time champ. The announcer guy, hypes up the warrior with 3 million years of XP, saying he's only had 2 fights, but they were legendary. Mu is vibing so hard, he's literally shaking with hype. 3 fights in 1 day. Total main character energy. Bell rings, and he zooms in, thirsty for action. 0, chill. Champ says, nope, blocking him with a massive leg kick. A crescent kick. Apparently, Mu is shook by that speed. Didn't even move his feet. He spams attacks, but she dodges it all. Totally realization hit fast. Tagging her is impossible. Her reflexes are Our Earthlord dude, knew it'd be tough, but now he's straight up bummed. Mostly 'cause he can't land a single hit. Is he lagging? Dude is literally crying from frustration. Big mood. Nothing worse for Mu, since he's addicted to fighting? Seeing his sad puppy face, she asks, you okay, little guy? Tried to troll him, but nope, total fail. Earthlord switched strats, faking a punch to keep it low-key. Totally expected. She blocked him, launching a chill crescent kick. Hands pocketed, Leho guy yeeted back. Looked like Nobody guessed he had a pro move ready. Mid-fall, he snapped a wild kick with his foot, smacking her mug so hard her hat went orbit. First time her gear actually bailed. Mid-brawl, whistle shook, but kept her cool face on lock. She stood frozen, throwing major shade at our guy. Mu checked her stats, and realized the matchup was trash. Her reach was just too up. Spistock wasn't gonna rage quit, yet time to avenge the beloved hat. She spammed those killer legs again. Jump kick Leho, ragdolled back like a total nip. Different leagues, obviously. He got up, she spammed the same move, same result. Before her shoe kissed his mug, again, Earthlord spotted a pattern. She always dived fast, but super predictable. If she lives in the air, he got a glitch out of her hitbox. Whistle landed after a combo. Something felt sus. Why is he grilling like that? Then, boom, he dropped on all fours, creeping up weirdly. The crowd started to yell copycat regarding some master. He didn't care. He had to close the gap to strike, and this strat was gold. She lagged, leaning back, total confusion. Tried a sweep, but froze midair. Was he laughing? The kick flew over Lee's head. He ducked, taking 0 damage. Another miss. Dodging on all fours was kinda cringe though. Vasika grumbled. She wasn't used to lowballing, but aimed to kick, but he just camped lower. Crowd went wild. Chinese guy was salty and shocked. Massa couldn't believe this. Rondo learned his 5-year move instantly. Hero dodged it all. Crowd admits the dog style isn't bad. The rival guy and his master act, def. Truth is Sensei was just hyped. His moves actually worked. Miss Pretty kept whiffing kicks while Moose slid right under her. He circled around, basically hugging the floor. Wisawa is getting real sick of kicking ghost air. Dude was moving exactly like a cockroach. Since you squish bugs with shoes, she decided to just stomp Leho flat. She spun her signature kick, trying to predict his spawn point. All that spinning launched her cap, totally distracting him. Looks like that had some deep meaning, cause she totally panicked without it. She eyed her hat mid-kick, while Leho stayed late. He knew a thing or two about copying beast moves and had this giant's fist skill from a demon. That crazy move was exactly what flipped the script for the Earth. Lord Mu was from Earth but barely hung around after hitting God mode. 3,000 years before becoming boss, Lucifer yeeted him to another planet. He didn't want to go, but it turned out kinda wild. With mana and creeps everywhere, raw muscles failed, and magic didn't always cut it either. Mu farmed those mobs, constantly inventing news. Obviously, he leveled up crazy fast. Then he ran into the final boss, the giant Colossus. Huge, savage, and packed with magic hacks. That giant taught him the invisible authority skill. Time to test it on the girl who overpowered him. He had to shift his muscles to copy that beast perfectly, and he totally nailed it. The hit was way too fast for Whistle to block. She flew 10 meters, still not even getting what just hit her or how. The 13-time champ crashed into the crowd, sending fans scrambling. She dragged herself up, clutching her head. Even steel ABS couldn't tank that hit. Worst part, dude was already prepped for the KO. Mu clocked that move. The Giantan was ready to copy-paste it perfectly. Cam zoomed on his creepy grin that scares everyone. Redhead yelled that the fighter got booted for stepping out. Game over. 13-time champ got DQ'd for a ring out. So, the win went to the 3-million-year warrior. Crowd went nuts cause that ending was total trash. Redhead signed off, claiming that was a wrap and to tune in next week. Cam cut. Smile dropped. She told him to follow for cash. They bailed to a sketchy, empty alley. Our boy was getting bad vibes. She said she promised 1 million won, which sounded sus. Turns out, winning just got him a ticket to the finals. Mu was not amused. She said to get paid, he had to beat one last boss. Now the dude was hyped. Suddenly, she spun around, glaring like a villain. Then bam, launched a flying knee right at him. Leho screamed, totally shook. Didn't think the twiggy redhead could throw hands? He hit the deck. Guess she's the final boss? Ghidorah's leader. She posed to prove looks. To see, dude was floored, clutching his chest. He kinda saw that coming. Read her twitch, but let her smack him anyway. Wanted her to swing first so they could brawl, but dodging would have been smarter. Hit was critical. He was toast as her pink shoes left. 13-time champ was waiting in on the scheme. She apologized that the boss had to see that mess. They almost lost a cool million. Redhead said, whatever, we won. Let's bounce. Hero crawled after M, mumbling, wait, I can still fight? Mu dragged himself, begging Yan for the health pack. But the dragon was me. Swiped by his classmate, Leho, the guy he marked. Kid was sprinting home with the bag Yan was stuck in. Monster inside was panicking. Like what now? And the bully was stressing out too. It kicked off with a sketch gaming link, Conchual shared. Blondie swore it was legit and totally safe. Bro got hooked fast, glued to the game like a zombie, phone practically welded to his hand. All he wanted was to chill, but he spiraled and blew 5 million won from his mom's account. So the delinquent had to grab a loan, but he needed some serious collateral first. His genius plan? Pawn, a rare animal he found. He dropped a backpack on the desk, and a weird snorting noise came from inside. The bag started wiggling across the table, freaking the clerk out. He opened it up to show Yan, tied with a belt and squirming like crazy. The dude flashed the clerk a pic, claiming it was a Gadia, some rare kiwi beast. He pointed at the photo. Again, swearing the weird horns and wings were just a mutation. He started yelling that a collector would pay massive cash for a creature like this. Clerk was like, nah, but bro insisted it was worth hundreds of millions. He didn't even spot the guy, slipping in, rocking shades, and a sus purple hoodie. He only got 1 million won for Yan. Took it, but looked super salty about it. The kid headed for the door, telling his pal he'd Zelly win the rest back. Dude whipped out his phone, logged in, convinced he was being a total alpha male. His friend walked into the shady joint like he owned the place. Lei Chun's student ID card he stolen by these goons earlier was sitting on the desk. The guy told the loan shark he'd pawned the ID. The shark sided him and said, hoot off. Now, the hair matched the pic, but the face, not really. He claimed she photoshopped it and looked way worse. Price for the ID was 500,000, minus the deposit, so she'd pay 450,000. Deal done. She bolted out, sweating buckets. Young Cho caught her at the door instantly. The thug looked totally annoyed. He just wanted to know if the sister disguise actually worked. It did, he grinned, flashing the envelope of cash. Guess that stolen ID came in clutch after all. The crossdresser admitted he was terrified. First time acting like a schoolgirl, but boss only cared about the dough. With this crowd, the fake bank was booming like crazy. The dude in purple sat down, Spinning dodens? ID like a fidget spinner. The worker dude said, judging by the vibe. The client was totally broke and asked if bailing on the bill was okay. The guy just shook his head like, nah, whatever. He flicked that card like a ninja star. Dude had major circus vibes. It stuck into the wood planks like they were made of butter, not plastic. Serious heat power, right there. Worst part, Union was tied to the wood. He was the dartboard. Next morning, at Leho school was total chaos. With panicking students screaming loud enough to rattle the glass, Kim Yujin realized Jongin was gone and freaked out, scaring half the class. Mu figured the dragon was Mia and tried to spill the tea on yesterday's arena fight, but the prez just totally tuned out. She just kept screaming curses, yelling, he's gotta be here. She tore up the room, checking cabinets, under desks, banging everything. Finally, she bailed, rushing the door, screaming the dragon's name down the hall. Mu watched, silent and thoughtful. The pet napper acted innocent but was sweating bullets. Then, sobbing footsteps got closer. The class froze. It was Kim Yujin again, bursting in and yelling for the Earth Lord's secretary. She was losing it. She'd raided every office. Zero chill left for anything else. Even Kang Shuo was shook by her guts. She seemed unstoppable. Minor issue. Class had started. And teachers don't vibe with that chaos. Leho was at his desk when the door flew open. Two figures appeared. Teach literally dragged Kim Yujin inside, by the collar, scolding her for wandering like a psycho. Forced into her seat, she was clearly about to snap. She told Leho she'd checked everywhere. But Yunyong was ghosting hard. Our hero was like, duh, he didn't vanish here. He got lost at the arena yesterday. He showed a map. She was mad. She just heard this, but stared at the sketch. Yonggun drew it to help the guy find the fight spot. Is Kim Yujin's idea? Actually, Earth Lord said the pet vanished the roops. Forgot to mention it. Prez ignored us. My bad. She snatched the map and sprinted for the door. Fierce girl moved so fast, only her sneakers blurred. Teach couldn't even speak, but he chased her down, yelling to stop. Surprisingly fast, he caught up. You could hear her begging, let me go. Nope. Teach hauled Kim Yujin back, dangling her like a plushie. She slumped in her seat, eyes shut, fuming and holding back tears. Mu saw the mess and thought, yikes. Totally let down by his assistant and the whole vibe. He replayed the recent drama, mostly the brawls he got into. Some epic moments, but he was salty. He didn't finish the arena fight. That redhead Ghidorah's ambush made him rethink enemy strength. Now the Earth Lord sat there, regretting the unfinished business, itching to throw hands. Lee Joe's bod, total wreckage, just pitiful. His muscles were fried, but bro kept grinning. The thought of crushing enemies got him hyped. Just gotta heal with the sphere, then it's brawl time. Kim Yujin was totally stressing over Young. Mu was stuck in class. Pure torture, but he survived. Prez snatched his arm and yeeted him toward the door. Saving Yan was her only brain cell right now. They dashed out like their pants were on fire. Kang Cho looked confused, asking, what was up? Seeing Yujin freaking out, she stuttered, it's super serious. Pet's gone. Then Dawn popped up. Seen my wallet. Prez froze. She totally blanked on you. Their faces screamed you. No. It was obvious they weren't a thing. Zero vibes. Yujin apologized. Lost my dragon help? Kangko was like, for real. Oh. Dragon. But the village chief nodded. Leho explained. Used to be huge. Now it's Mu almost mentioned the healing. Spherebud zipped his lip. Just described the scales he used to surf on. Squad ran off. Hero's brain. Just fighting. Get the stone. Get buff. Smash faces. They ditched him? Sweet. Solo training time. The boy grinned like a maniac. They can hunt, he'll hit the gym. Perfect setup. Meanwhile, Bolly Yang was gaming in the stalls, playing that debt trap app. Cash drained fast. He was losing it. Dude raged, ready to smash his phone. Kicked the door, begging the system for a win. And boom, the gangster actually got lucky. Headbutted the plywood screaming yes. Relief washed over him. Big cash, big bump. He sat there, staring at the graffiti. A creepy smirk started to form. Bet the last coin and hit the jackpot. Lucky guy. Hope he remembers to pull his pants up. Rich. He smiled. Can't quit now, right? Too hyped. Gotta pay the sharks first. So, he grabbed his phone again. Grinning wildly, he hit withdraw. Looks like his drama was finally over. The app was glitching hard, telling him to chill till the cash cleared. Seconds crawled by. Nothing, zeros up. Bro started sweating bullets, for real. Before long, he was drenched. Back all knotted up. The cash? Stuck? Unreachable? 6 days into the search, Mu bumped into his teacher. Teach was shoe kids grinning like crazy despite cutting class. Hero had a wild, goofy grin, plastered on, so Teach felt awkward asking where he'd been hiding. But we know the truth. The god was training. Meanwhile, The girls were desperate to find his beast. First, they scoured the school, checking the arena spot. Then they hit that sketchy alley where Leho went to grab his winnings, but got kneed in the gut instead. Kank helped to plastering missing monster posters everywhere, even his gym. Total fail. Days later, Kim and Lita collapsed on a park bench, absolutely fraught. The class president gave props for the help. She ditched tons of class, but claimed she was cool with it. I'm no nerd anyway. Still, Kim was salty at Leho for ghosting the sir. It's his pet, right? She said she was gonna bolt to the mart for snacks and water. They earned a timeout. Jun said, sure. She sat back down, waving clueless that a lone shark goon was lurking right behind her. Dude was clutching Jun's school. I guess he was hunting her down. When Kim got back, her friend was gone. Total ghost town. Panic mode. Bench, empty, park, dead. Prez froze, confused, then started screaming Dejian's name. Days earlier, Mu hit the park to find the pet, but got distracted by something cooler. He ran into the gym teacher, and the dude instantly grabbed his attention. Kids started groping the guy's muscles. Weird flex? Never seen a bod like that. Teach flinched, obviously. Mu was so obsessed with the muscle fibers he forgot to say, my bad. Bro poked the teacher's chest with a fringa. Yo, you went too hard on this pec. Tore a ligament, didn't ya? Guy was shook. Leho hyped up his gains. The buff dude grinned, realizing this kid actually knew his stuff. The kid threw his hands on his hips. I'm joining your training. Don't try to stop me. For a sec, the homeroom, Teach debated. Detention for the sass, or let him lift with the crew. He vibed with option 2. Back to DA. Jun stranger flashed her ID. She asked for it back. They headed to the office to fix the paper and cash drama. Dude claimed he didn't believe the doc was actually basically, he said if it was hers, she must have pawned it for cash, so she'd have to pay the full loan plus interest to get it back. She was absolutely livid. She'd never borrowed cash, especially not from a sketchy joint using her ID as collateral. Her rent got cut short by a massive crash. When some guy behind her slammed his fist on the table like a maniac, Mr. Purple Outfit hissed at her to quit playing dumb, saying she took the cash and was acting clueless, which was seriously annoying him. Jun stared back, terrified, while the blonde dude added that since they had the card, she must have the money. She quickly realized arguing was a bust and just asked how much she owed. You could tell she was bracing for a crazy number. The clerk said 500,000 was the loan, plus a 50,000 late fee. The student almost laughed. With relief that was peanuts. She promised to pay it back in a week. Office guy warned that if she flaked, they'd definitely hunt her down. He yanked open a drawer and tossed her ID in with the other junk, acting super dismissive about it. He mentioned they knew exactly where she went to school, but she just asked them not to lose her stuff since she'd be back. She bailed without a goodbye, slamming the door hard enough to tick off the scammers. The blonde dude swore, muttering about how kids these days have zero manners. Wow glasses, guy He asked who he was talking about, but when he realized it was directed at him, he threw his hands up and apologized to the boss. Purple Suit asked if he needed to call the guy's uncle for a little chat, and the lackey begged him not to, since the workday was almost over. Evening hit, and the lights in the offices died down. Even the snack bars were closed. It was super late. Blonde guy locked up and left. He'd stayed late, probably dreading going home. Employees always stashed the key in a flower pot, and today was no different. Rules are rules, right? He dragged himself down the hall, grumbling about taking orders from a small fry like Purple. The stairs were pitch black, but he didn't bother with lights since the place was empty, except Jun was totally hiding on the floor above. She peeked out to make sure Blondie was actually gone. Then she crept down the hall, planning to just snatch her ID back. Paying these scammers? Yeah, that was pure insanity. She yanked the handle, but it was locked to details she totally forgot to consider. A car cruised by outside, and its headlights lit up the key in the pot, catching her eye as it glinted. A second later, Jun had the door unlocked and was ready to head in, feeling kinda sketchy. She cracked the door open carefully and took a peek. Luck was on her side. Nobody was home. Right then, somebody was creeping down the hall like a ninja. Heavy footsteps. Deaf a dude with zero stealth skills. Jun ghosted to the desk. Lucky break, the drawer was unlocked. Mission complete. She turned to Jet, but the cabinet next to her wobbled. Thump. Something bashed it from inside. She nearly jumped out of her skin. Jun yanked the doors open. Spotted a cage. Some blurry critter was passed out inside. Whoa, Union. Lil guy woke up and clung to the bars, screaming, "Let me out." She shrieked, backed up, and bonk. Crashed right into an intruder. She froze. Literally the last person she wanted to see. It was Young Cho. Guy was totally clueless, because he was gunning for the exact desk she just looted. He clamped a hand over her mouth. She nodded like, "Okay, chill." The thief signaled with Hand signs. Just here for papers. Don't trip. Then it clicked this. Was the chick whose wallet he swiped? Recognized her ID pic and figured, ah, stealing it back, huh? You got your stuff? He whispered. Let me get mine, and we're cool. Jun gave a quick nod, and he let go. Weirdest team-up ever, but whatever. Minutes later, our girl was striding out, Union tucked under her arm. Oof, chunkier than he looked. She recalled the Lost posters. Yep, spitting image of the pic. No doubt about it. Going downstairs, she fumed. Stealing pets? That's slow, even for crooks. Too salty to notice the ceiling cam watching her. Next AM, Jun hollered at Kim Yoojin, making her jump a mile. Totally didn't expect her, since Jun ditched her yesterday. Yoojin was like, where were you? She'd been low-key panicking. Jun apologized, saying, things got crazy. But check this. She zipped open her bag. Union popped out. Freer Press saw her baby and squealed. She tackled the dragon with a hug, blabbing about how scared she was and how hard she searched. While she bawled, happy tears, the beast saw his real master and squirmed. He wiggled free and yitted himself right at Moo. Landed on his arm. But Moo looked ... pain. Muscles screamed with pain. Result of a killer gym sesh earlier. Soreness overload. So Leho instinctively flung the poor pet away, then went oops. Union hit the dirt. Moo stared at the dazed dragon, totally confused. Definitely needed to say sorry for that. Suddenly, the principal stormed in, screaming that this whole vibe with Yan was toxic, while the girl shrieked like a banshee. Meanwhile, some dude was creeping on the security tapes, which were pure gold, showed the whole dragon napping saga. Dun's moves were all caught on cam, crystal clear, but she was totally clueless, strutting like she owned the place. Young Cho was in the clip too, sweating bullets, way more stressed than her. Dude bolted so fast, he nearly ate pavement on the stairs, but luckily stayed upright. After viewing the clip, the staffer sighed loudly. Totally obvious. What went down? 2 missing IDs and a pair of midnight creepers in the office. Plus, the fancy lizard was me. Blondie was like, so, what's the plan? Purple Jacket didn't chat, just threw hands, yelling about their sloppy key skills. Then, telling the guy to scrap it. Said the cash was peanuts, but the break-in was super sketchy and couldn't slide. The kid's face went totally psycho, hissing that it was a major disaster. Game day at school. Kids were zooming around the pitch, showing off moves. Baldy dribbled, looking to pass to his squad. Just had to pick a target. He booted it hard, trying to score a killer goal. The ball spun like crazy, flying not just anywhere, but SMACK into the Earthlord's face. 0 dodge attempt. Sounded like a bone snapped. Gross. But Moo was he was actually stoked. Nose bleeding like a faucet. First hit landed. It's go time, baby. Grinning like a maniac, our boy charged Baldy, who was confused why Leho didn't duck. No talk. The student took a fist to the gut and crumbled onto the grass. Class went nuts, yelling about Leho scrapping again. Bad news. Dude, lost it. Coach was fuming too. Screamed, it was PE, not UFC. Cut the drama right now, he bellowed. Moo tuned out the noise, fists flying, face lit up with pure joy. Meanwhile, Kim sat with Yeonyeon, holding a cell. She showed the beast, the gadget, explaining that it was old school, no calls, but the Wi-Fi and apps were legit. Village boss said to keep it close just in case of an emergency. Yeonyeon grabbed the phone, with his paws, asking how to use it. Then, game noise distracted the beast. He glanced over and spotted the punk who swiped him for the thugs. Definitely him. That was the exact jerk who made Yan suffer. Time to pay the piper. The dragon pounced, ready for some sweet payback, while Leho stood there, totally clueless. He only spun around when he heard the noise, and freaked out, screaming, kidnapper, just die already. Yoon sank his teeth and claws right into the bully's noggin. Too bad the beast was weak. Didn't leave a scratch? The kid just ripped him off, grumbling. So stupid. Glasses fixed, he shrieked, realizing a psycho lizard just jumped him. Coach chewed Moo out. For acting up again? Keep this up, and you're off the team. Right on cue, the bully zoomed by with the dragon on his tail, nearly hitting the wall. Tumbling down, he spotted the Earth Lord and knew his luck was trash. And another beatdown was definitely incoming. Our hero grinned and clicked his teeth, confirming the nightmare. Gym time, Moo yelled, fist cocked too. Smash, dragging his unlucky pal back to class. Teach didn't wait, grabbing our hero by the hair. Finally, school was out, halls cleared, lights out, everyone bailed. Exhausted students trudged to the doors. Leho, Kim, Yu, Jin, Kong, Chu, and Da Jun rolled out as a squad. Earthlord told his bud pay was sick. Wish it was daily. She rolled her eyes. Bro, you have no clue what pay is. Then she asked, aren't we training? You promised to bring you. Kang and Haijan hit the phones. She remembered she had to tech train her pet. Kang and Haijun got on calls while she remembered the gadget lesson. She told Mu, if you come over, Yan learns the device fast and Dooley gets happy. Jun and her pal chatted away, cracking up and giggling at nothing. The boxer turned to look, but his neck went snap. Must have slept weird in class. Head boy dialed Hunin, meet me here, we need to talk. He was down for it. Suddenly, a huge dude blocked their path, but they were too busy yapping to see him. Only when they hit a wall of muscle. Did Dajan look up? She didn't seem fazed. It was Young Cho, eyes wide, demanding her ID. The beauty froze, sweating bullets. Who are you? She squeaked, bruised face screaming. We're on camera. Give me the docs now. DJ Jun totally played the I'm clueless card, pretending not to hear him. Mostly because her bestie was standing right there watching. The goon lost his temper, screaming. Forgot the beatdown already? He reminded her how a neck chop feels and demanded the cash and papers. Pronto. Then he snagged the poor student by her backpack straps. Her bro was yapping on his cell, but he and Kang Cha snapped to alert mode fast. The bully yanked hard, trying to rip the bag off, straps and all, while Jun shrieked at him to back off. Heejin dropped the phone, eyes blazing. Nobody messes with his sister. Ilheim, the classic justice for the weak type, switched to battle mode too. That boxer absolutely loathed gangsters. They both dashed in, itching to flatten this loser, right there. Moose just stood there, but he was definitely eyeing the brawl. He was dying to jump in, but he had to beat the others to the punch. Then, boom, a light bulb went off, and he paused. Crunching the numbers, could he pull off his crazy plan in time? Young Cho, clueless, he was doomed, kept tugging the senior's bag and calling her a psycho. The two protectors were already on scene, fists ready, desperate to save the girls. They swung at the same time, full power, zero mercy. But Leho blocked. He literally saved the bad guy from the hit with his own hands. Flashing that trademark grin, he announced, I'm schooling this jerk first, so back off. Kong, Cole, and Hun stared at him, totally sketched out. Cause the Earthlord had popped a healing item and looked dangerous. Young Cho blinked, asking, the heck is going on? He was ready to throw hands, not get interrupted by their He name-dropped Iljame and Haijin, shocked they just popped up out of nowhere. But Moo's expression, that really threw him off. While the heroes argued, the bully just tossed DJ Jun over his shoulder and booked it out of the school. Our boy panicked. His chance to fight was running away. The duo chased him, ignoring everything Moo said. No time to waste. Now the trio chased Young Cho, yelling, drop the girl, and fight me. The dude was fast. He whipped around a corner, the terrified beauty's feet, dangling as she disappeared. The chasers drifted the corner, then slammed on the brakes. They were in the backlot of some industrial. Young Cho looked comfy here, but the students, not so much. Kan Cho scanned the area. Why'd the creep stop? What's the trap? Something big was definitely up. Then it clicked. This was the alley where he soloed that gang dressed as Ilhim. Young Cho dumped the girl onto the pavement. She yelped in pain, clutching her backpack tight. Bandit clawed at the straps of his own. Packed to ditch the weight, bragging the spot was ghost town quiet. The trio squared up, all itching to throw hands. Villain wanted smoke too, roasting him with goofy nicknames. Bag hit the dirt. Ding, ding, round one starts now. Yo struck a weird pose, mumbling about mercy while daring him to swing. Moo grinned, huge, shouting he was totally down to wreck him, like right now. Hedgen cut in, telling Hero Boy to quit playing and scram. If he hadn't choked earlier, Daejeon would be safe. By now, and Leho ain't about cleaning up messes. Dude spun around, shocked the pretty girl's bro was salty. Cool, fight Chidori first, then catch these hands. Yeah, that didn't go as planned. Yang Cho gripped the kid's shoulder. Too close? My turn. Crunch Dude's shoulder popped like bubble wrap. Pain spiked, realized he totally overestimated his skills. Moo still craved the beef. Flashing his trademark grin, kid swung wild, but the thug dodged it effortlessly. A quick leg sweep sent Leho stumbling, tipping backward, definitely not part of the master plan. Young Cho bonked Moo's head, then whacked him again. Felt like our hero's brain bucket was gonna crack open. Beat down over, he lay there frozen, eyes wide with pure shock. Hedgen ghosted past while the big guy gasped for air. He hollered for his sis, checking. She was good, then yelled, let's dip. Fast. Dragging June, he lectured how brawling is totally dumb. The kid recalled his dad drama zero, desire for more chaos. Young Cho watched him bail, bummed the ID card wasn't secured. Meanwhile, Earthlord chilled the ground, thinking, hey, training actually helped. Didn't get wrecked as bad as he expected. He flexed his back hard, then snapped it loose. Somehow, that weird twitch bounced him right up. Back in the game, ready to school Young Cho for playing dirty. Kong asked if he needed backup. Moo shook his head. I got this. Right then, Young Cho's massive paw, aimed for his face, ready to squash it flat. Kid actually blocked it this time, laser focused to test his skills. Couldn't hit back though, and the thug just snagged Leo's wrist, yanking him in close. Yanked off balance again. The hero stumbled, wondering why his plan was flopping so hard. A split second later, the dude kissed the concrete, skull and spine, taking the grand tour. Staring at the clouds, Mu blinked. Weirdly, his back didn't scream in agony. Guess all those brutal coach drills actually worked. Nope, totally wrong. His backpack held squishy yawn, acting as a living airbag. Poor critter was fading fast. A heavy boot pinned Mu's head, crushing his hopes of standing up. Gods aren't built for doormat duty, but nobody asked for his opinion. That stump packed enough force to crack a melon wide open. Luckily, Leho scrambled out just in time, crouching like a coiled spring. Behind him, the dragon let out a wheeze. Cue the master screaming vengeance for hurting Yo. He unleashed a fist flurry, moving like he'd downed 10 energy drinks. Young Cho tried to guard, but his reflexes were lagging way behind the lag. The goon swung back, confused by this skinny psycho's insane strength. Actually, it wasn't rocket science. Mu lived for brawls, and now he was avenging his cute secretary. The Earth Lord lunged, screaming that this beatdown was for Yan. The big guy roared back. Who the heck is you? Anyway, our hero stared at the walking boulder in a hat, stumped on tactics. Dude's muscles were basically granite, so Leho pulled a dusty ancient move from his mental library. He unleashed a Titan Smasher, aiming to crack this human rock. Headshot followed by a kick, trying to drain the guy's HP bar, barely a scratch. To avoid getting pummeled, the kid hopped back to safety. Kong Shoal offered backup again. Mu waved him off. I got this. Doubting his own confidence, he tossed his pet too. The boxer. Watch him. Hydrate him if he looks dry. Earth Lord versus Meat Mountain. How to win without weapons. Still, no rock exists that a god's fist can't crumble. Hero mode ring. He charged. Strategy. Aim for the squishy bits. He dipped low. The confused thug froze like a deer. At close range, the goon grabbed for his head, but grabbed air. The kid flashed behind him. Agility stats maxed out. Liver shot. Knee check. The big guy howled in pain. He swung wild to retaliate. But Leho was already gone. Keep moving, keep winning. While the guy scanned the room, Leho swept his legs. He could have done this all day, but the giant was gasping. Dude's legs were wobbling like jelly. Totally gassed, he resorted to spitting nasty insults at our hero. Young Cho threw a hand up, signaling Ilgium to chill. It was a one-on-one showdown, and the boxer was getting impatient. When asked again if he needed a save, Leho smirked. Nah, I got this. He told Kong Kryl to relax. Everything was totally under control without him. No time to get distracted by talking, cause Young Cho's fists were buzzing around our hero's head like crazy. The goon locked in a chokehold, trying super hard to finish the job right then. Growling that the rot was caught in a trap, the thug started wrenching the kid's neck, crushing it with his elbow. Leho turned blue. Zero oxygen. His blood flow basically quit, and Young Cho announced it was game over. Kang watched, totally freaking out, knowing this was messy, and he might be too slow to save the day, even if he tried. The boxer thought Leho was mumbling something. Looked like his lips were saying help. Didn't have to ask twice. Ilgi dashed at the thug to save the dude. Seeing this, Mu pushed hard and hissed that he didn't need backup. The boxer froze, not believing what he heard. Clearly, the nerd was going to get wrecked on his own. Earth Lord suddenly grinned and said, "One more time, don't ever jump in my fights, bruh." Still, the bully squeezed the kid's neck tighter and tighter, like his life timer was ticking down fast. Mu felt his blood stall, meaning his brain was about to crash. Before he passed out, he decided to bust out an ancient secret move. Step 1. Flex those neck muscles. Like magic, his body obeyed, and Young Cho felt the resistance. A second later, a gap opened. Mu could finally breathe. He smiled again, way more chill. The kid slid his hands under the thug's grip to flip the script. To do this, Earth's Lord first tensed his arm. Muscles maxed out, then relaxed them to bulk up fast. It worked like a charm. The thug tried to hold the neck, but it was getting super hard. Finally, his arms popped off. Leo landed 2 hits and escaped the squeeze. Both Kong and Young Cho were stunned, neither getting how a nerd pulled that trick. Jibba hissed first, calling him a psycho, but swore he'd still crush him. Mu knew the defense cracked. Now he needed a clean hit to shatter it. Just had to aim dead center. The kid took his stance, fist primed for the attack. The hero learned this move from his teacher. In training, he'd stood just like this, saying watch closely. He explained that good form is the key to sports. So next time, wear comfy clothes. Teach grabbed the ire, racked it on his shoulders, ready to school us on form. He was super stoked, yapping about leg safety and warning us not to snap our spines. Bro didn't hesitate and beelined for the weights. Leho locked in, ready to copy-paste the teacher's move. But Teach fricked yelling at him to drop the heavy plates. Mu lifted it, quads shaking like jelly. But he actually crushed a rep. Coach was screaming that he was gonna die and needed to quit right now before he broke something. One look at our hero's face told him there was no stopping this train. Earthlord was totally sure he could bench the planet. Mu was a muscle wizard. Nah, wizard is too weak. Dude was a literal god. He bossed around every single fiber in his bod, solo or squad style. Best part, Earthlord could teleport muscles to wherever he needed them. That hack made him dish out insane damage with one swing. Smashing rocks first try was basically warm-up cardio for this god. He could punch tunnels or yeet mountains with a single knuckle sandwich. So Leho's body listened to Mu, and his thighs suddenly got 3 times thicker. The cheat code worked perfectly, and bro started busting out reps, leaving Teach with his jaw on the floor. Hero shifted arm muscles again, winding up to wreck that boulder. Or rather, Young Cho, seeing his sleeve go flat, Kank panicked, asking if he was good. Mu figured he'd borrow that boxer's whole body energy flow vibe. That punch was wicked strong. So mixing both hacks meant a guaranteed win. Showtime. Leho wound up his arm, channeling that boxer style. Thug tried to block, but he knew he was completely cooked. Then boom. Goon took a hit that could reset his factory settings. Looked like the fist was literally glowing with juice. Earthlord went full god mode, putting every ounce of power into that. Hello. The rock just cracked and exploded, the impact lighting up the room like a bomb went off. The bad guy was laid out flat, mouth hanging open, looking like he face-planted into a speeding train. Mu looked bummed at the mess. He was actually sad. The fun was over. He could have scrapped all day. But hey, one cool chore left. Time to leave his signature on this loser. No hesitation, just his classic post-game ritual for a worthy foe. One of Ghidorah's birds peeled off from the squad. Young Cho was toast. His threat card basically ripped to shreds. Meanwhile, the Lee Sibs backed up to gossip about the madness. Hun was like, "Who's the creeper stalking you, friend or Totorondo?" She sighed, "Didn't want to stress you out with my drama, bro. It started when some loser tried to mug me. They bailed, but I dropped my wallet and this guy grabbed it." Dajan said they pawned her ID. The desk jockey had zero plans to give it back. She was totally losing it. Then she had a big brain moment. That night, she snuck in and snagged her ID from the desk. Bumped into a goon doing the same thing. Awkward. Hun turned red, eyes blazing. He roared. That is absolutely not okay. Guy realized running was a huge fail. Runner wouldn't fix agents, mess with the gang. He pulled his phone, called the chief. "Yo, can't make it. My bad." Hun told Sis, "Drive me to the loan shark place. Now, time to school these clowns." Purple guy flopped on the couch, ready to watch the game. BAM, door flies open. Hun stands there looking fierce. Staff yelled, "Who is this? Psycho, get lost." Dude, Four Eyes cursed, but was shaking, ready to dive behind the sofa. Instead of chatting, he ate a fist. Hayden would have been way smarter than arguing. While Boss got wrecked, Blondie was panicking hard. He had to call security before he got folded next. Then he laughed, watching the stranger beat the punk who hurt him. The stranger blocked a hit, and glared at the lackey. Shut him up instantly. Blondie jumped up and started, screaming for backup to toss the maniac. Beefy dude stomped down the hall, acting tough. They busted in, sizing up the mess. Purple guy was definitely seeing stars. Hun stopped punching. Saw the new guys? Little bit scared? He didn't know the monster blood inside him was about to go full beast mode. Kid was a demonaire, and it was waking up. Crazy demon power took over. Fear, delete. While the worker explained things, Hun decided nobody was walking out. Okay. He launched like a missile, fueled by demon juice. The loan shark office doors were locked and super thick. Didn't stop the bald guard from becoming a human battering ram thanks to Hun. Dude hit the deck hard, face twisting like he ate a sour lemon. He never thought a teenager could wreck him like that. Everyone else was knocked out while Hunan posed like a boss. He asked if they seriously still wanted cash. For debts he never owed, 'cause that's just a joke. Purple suit, mouth bloody, mumbled that the kid was toast. Keep guessing. Hedgen smirked. Shut up or get wrecked. Heads are gonna roll. The creep started shaking. The kid dipped, stepping on the security guard, just to make sure he didn't try to play hero. Purple suit sobbed, questioning his whole life choices. Kong, Chul, Leho, and Yan walked down the quiet street, letting the craziness sink in. Finally, our boy broke the silence. Man, that was fun. Champ didn't argue, but he was dying to know how the kid's arm went from twig to tree trunk instantly. Earthlord flexed again, showing off but saying nothing. It looked like Mu was hyped his skinny bod could handle his pro skills, so he kept doing the move over and over like a gym rat. Boxer got bored waiting for a tutorial and just tried it. Spoiler alert, he failed hard. Kid said, Gotta listen to your muscles to control them. Our hero explained every muscle is unique. You gotta vibe with each one. When your soul and swall speak same language, you're basically unbeatable. Then you can bend your bod to your will and do the impossible. Your guns have to listen to you. Mu mastered his build through pure muscle torture. Young Cho was totally lost on the logic. But he walked home, waving his hands like a weirdo. Anyway, Union asked, aren't you scared sharing your cheat codes? Hero grinned. Nah. Fighting a buffed champ sounds lit. Only way to grow is fighting bosses, he added. Gotta level up enough to crush Lucifer without sweating it. The dragon mentioned the shield, but God said Elmore would crash it. So I gotta grind XP fast before time runs out. Back at the loan shark spot, Purple Suit tried to play it cool to his uncle, saying it was handled. Small loans, gaming scams, extortion, the usual grind. The system was solid. Cash wasn't huge, but it was steady flow. Kid swore, it was chill, and the boss laughed. Smart moves. The kid was sweating bullets about his cash cow drying up. Unc just grinned, telling him to treat this fiasco as a pro tip. Biz has highs and lows. Cho hugged him, swearing to fix the mess. He was kinda bummed. His security squad turned out to be total useless flops, but the suit and guards knelt down, begging for a redo. Owning the fail, the dude, holding the bat, said he'd die of cringe if a high schooler robbed him. He jammed the bat right into Blondie's face, commanding open wide, but dude stalled hard. Finally, the manager figured he'd better just do it. A blue pill hit his tongue. Then came the order. Drag him out. Blondie shrieked, totally clueless about what the heck it was, but it was swallow or die. Dude had zero options. Meanwhile, Unc and Nephew rode the lift. The kid totally clueless. Why? On the way up, the boss hyped their operation, but said targeting broke high schoolers was a total waste. Ding. The metal doors slid open. They hit the VIP viewing room. Purple Shirt had never been there. Unca pointed to the glass, grinning. Check the action downstairs. The guy was seriously puffing his chest out. Below, a packed arena. The crowd screamed for the fight to start. The kid was like, whoa, what's this? And God told big cash means big stakes. Only Cho runs this game. Purple Shirt's face went pale when he clocked who just walked into the ring. Unch said, watch closely. You might dig this twist. The blindfold was ripped off, and boom, it's that blonde office drone. But now he's absolutely jacked. The nephew's jaw practically hit the floor. He recalled the wimp and wondered, how'd I miss those gains? Fighter number 2 stepped up and the announcer yelled fight time. They squared up. Dark hair charged, but Blondie just defarmed him cold. He looked spooked, but that grip was so insane the other guy almost bawled. Attack totally canceled. Hyped up, the manager decided to swing back, and the brunette tried to block with an elbow. Crunch. That break was nasty. Both guys looked shocked. Dude screamed, that arm was officially toast. Blondie didn't hesitate, right in the face. He put way more juice into that one. Realizing he was suddenly OP, the suit yelled about his unlimited power. He started smashing so hard the other guy was becoming burger meat. Cho and the kid just watched, dead silent. Finally, dude flashed a blue pill, bragging it was the ultimate cheat code for rigging wins. Pop one of these bad boys, and it's game over for the other guy. Basically, he's a scriptwriter for every beatdown before it starts. With that magic skittle, Single's unstoppable, turning his shady hustle into a massive cash cow. Purple Shirt almost grabbed it but froze, realizing he could be the boss with that power. Little did he know, right then, Blondie was grinning, plotting sweet revenge. Finally, he could wreck his lazy boss in 2 seconds flat. Meanwhile, our boy hit the gym hard, crushing those barbells. Totally wiped, but feeling epic. He could literally feel the gains, replacing his noodle arms. Young hyped up his master's leg day progress, clapping like a fanboy. Mu saw the coach staring and grinned, saying this workout was insane. His quads were absolutely firing. Coach Washuk never seen anyone get swole that fast in history. Suspicious, he asked what juice. Leho was on, warning him, it's risky biz. Leho missed the point, just assuming the guy called him a wimp. The dude was confused too, and started yelling to quit the roids before he wrecks himself. Hero just shrugged, insisting he's still weak. He couldn't explain his weaknesses relative to fighting Lucifer. He needs way more XP to boss up. Later, Mu and Yan headed back, scoping out the park arena one more time. The dragon was navigating on his phone tech whiz already. Suddenly, Kim Eugene's ringtone. The beast shoved the phone to his master's ear to dodge the chat. She started screaming instantly, demanding to know where they'd been ghosting her all week. While she waited, asked for their location. The guy said he was testing out his 1 week. He wasn't aiming for the arena, but the alley where Jidori owed him 1 million. Both girls were chilling there. They were counting cash and 8 new streamed Donos Classic. Leho hollered at the scammers instantly. They spun around, salty that someone interrupted the money split. Our hero grinned. He was saying he was super hyped to see them happiest he'd been in ages. Redhead spat back. She didn't expect to see him again. Guess she wasn't mean enough since he missed the hint. She launched off the ground, closing the gap in seconds. Kim Chuga pulled a rerun, flipping over to knee smash's face. The hit was heavy, but Leho tanked it like an absolute brick wall. She got back. Checking the scoreboard. Earthlore guy just leaned in, like, thanks for the warm-up. Union squeaked, yo boss, you alive? Just loud breathing, but my guy doesn't fumble twice. He learned his lesson and braced himself. No noodle arms this time. Smirking, Moo announced she was totally cooked. Glitch fixed. Cat on head. He charged, buffing his arms. His fist looked absolutely furious. Leho threw it fast. Sure, he'd wreck Red, but dang, she was fast. Blocked his whole combo. Unlike that last messy fight with Young Cho where he was tiny, tables were turned. My guy was basically double her height and milking it for all it was worth. Leg sweep incoming to delete good. She went super mode, blocked it, and grabbed Moo's leg tight. Crunch. Reed realized the kid actually leveled up. If he hadn't trained, that leg would be spaghetti. Actually, the villain grinned. I like this. Full power mode unlocked. She didn't wait. Leo took a nasty elbow to the quad. Wanted to scream? She targeted weak spots, but he tanked the hit. Even though his legs were shaking like leaves, the baddie rolled up her sleeves. Let's see how long you last. Upgrade boy, she taunted. Red comets zoomed in. Moo flinched still out. First, Kim smashed her elbow at his brain box to stun him. Then an uppercut snapped his head back. Serious whip. Third came a spin kick to the gut, but he read it. With a totally zen face, Moo laned, shifting his build. Looked like he shrank, but it was way cooler than that. Big brain muscle tactics. He trapped her elbow like a vice, stuck tight. For a powerhouse, Red was pretty squishy. Moo snatched her collar. Face-to-face time. Chatting to Young Cho, Leho copy-pasted the bandit's move on her. Shoulder throw, slam. Kim was out. No surprise there. Just like the enemy stomped his head before, Moo planted his foot on hers. Bam! Something smacked the concrete, but it happened way too fast to see who won that exchange. Just like him, Red darted out from under his kicks, bouncing back up with a handstand flip. Moo flexed his upper body hard, stretching his legs and hips to the max for a fresh assault. He needed max speed to land a killer hit. His pet dragon nearly flew off his head. Suddenly, Moo pumped up his muscles, hulking out his arms. He threw an elbow. Red blocked it but still got yeeted into the wall. Her buddy girl midair, saving her boss from a nasty face. The scammers shared a look that screamed, this dude is way tougher than we thought. Time to ditch the fair play. They had to double team him now. Tall girl unleashed those long, lethal legs. He had to keep his distance. But Moo switched up the strut. He hopped over her guard, getting right in her face. Her eyes popped as his fist zoomed toward her nose. That nose was toast. Except, Red swooped in last second with a clutch elbow save. Weak, hit our hero's face is basically made of iron. So he set up his hand for a grapple. Bam! His palm smashed onto the gangster's face, totally stunning her. Moo couldn't finish the move cause long legs kicked him off her pal. He blocked 1, 2, but the third smack hit his dragon. These chicks were a solid combo. Neither let him get near the other. If he didn't innovate soon, this fight was a wash. Still, Moo was grinning. He lasted way longer this time. His bod was getting tough. Then the dragon wind, hey, 2-on-1, you guys have zero shame. That gave the kid an idea. Hey secretary, wanna tag in? Moo just yoinked the dragon's tail without asking. Now it's 2 versus 2. To hit the tall girl, he needed some serious reach. Enter the dragon. Both girls shrieked in terror, though Moo's creepy smile was way scarier. Whack, dragon meets face. The tall girl took a heavy hit. Red got tagged too, but she was so tiny and quick she dodged most of the swinging. Seeing the weapon was tricky, she rushed in to jam his style. Whoops, the tail slipped right out of his hand. Too bad the little guy still can't fly. Moo was getting absolutely wrecked when his dragon buddy decided to dive bomb the haters. The brawl was getting so spicy that nobody even clocked the lizard's aerial stunts. Leho's hands were flying so fast, it looked like he was lagging and spawned extra arms. But the real plot twist, he snagged Yan midair and equipped the lizard like a legendary weapon. He wound up to smack the Jinjor, but she slipped in a nasty uppercut first. She grappled him and checked his chin so hard he started seeing cartoon birds. Luckily, Union didn't take damage, and he zoomed off to pester the long-haired bully. While the beast kept one busy, Leho bonked Red so hard, she sprouted a unicorn horn. He looked way too smug about it. She dropped loot and passed out, leaving Union to solo the other Ghidorah scrub. Finally, the girl managed to peel the lizard off and yeet him, then she full-sented towards the boss. She was maxing out her speed stats to avenge her pal, but that was a total rookie move. Brunette drifted on the pavement. Hopped up for her signature move. Big mistake. Our boy just tanked the hit and recycled the same combo he used on Kim. He clamped her leg tight with his side muscles and arm like a vice grip. Mu decided to steal her moveset. Dropped a heavy elbow on her leg, just like Red did. She almost raged out but kept it together better than most dudes, just grimacing. Then he spammed the same button again. And this time she shrieked like a banshee. Super toxic playstyle, but she wasn't a total bot. She rebooted fast and tried to kick him with her free leg. She aimed right for his grill, and that kick had enough power to delete his dental plan permanently. But after 3 million years of PvP, the god's reaction time was basically hacking. He casually snatched her ankle, fingers locking onto her like a glitch in the physics engine. Now she was totally stuck buffering. No idea how she stayed horizontal without falling ABs of steel. Maybe her stats were definitely maxed out. Mu got bored and spun her like a top, twisting her joints to the limit. She spun so fast her cap clipped through the map and flew off. Mu usually prefers just mashing punch, but he's learned some fancy combos over the eon. Time to unleash that ancient Egyptian tech. Her muscles were getting pretzel-twisted, tendons ready to quit the game. She screamed her lungs out, totally confused by this new meta. Realizing, a game incoming, she yelled GG, and tapped out, still cranking her leg until it crunched. Leho asked if she was really done. She smashed that confirm button. Mu relaxed his grip, practically drooling at the thought of chomping on her ear. Yeah, fat chance of that happening? The second she was loose, she launched a nasty spin kick. She hopped back to her KOD ginger pal immediately. Leho just gawked at her, totally shook. This chick still had plenty of juice left in the tank. She started frantically digging through her buddy's pockets like a maniac. Mu didn't wait for the surprise reveal and pounced. He was weirdly stoked that the brawl wasn't over yet. Turns out, the girl was fishing for cash. She figured he was raging because he hadn't gotten his cut. Cash rained on the Earth Lord, leaving him totally baffled. Classic baton switch move. While he stood there, dazed, she scooped her friend and they vanished before the last bill even hit the pavement. Mu just stood there, zoning out hard. Just loot, a hat, and poor Union human weapon, edition left behind. He snagged the hat, salty, he didn't get to leave a bite, mark. He slapped on the stolen cap, licking his chops. Next time, it's on. The brunette hobbled off, lugging her beat-up pal, who seriously needed a dock, over her shoulder. Kim flopped around like a rat. Her leg was absolute toast. That redhead got wrecked. So bad she was totally lights out. Zero response. One bird down, and the hitter was out of the game. Who knows if she ever creep again. Next day, Young Cho finally dragged himself outside. Skipped school cause he felt gross and super cranky. He grumbled about needing to clear his debts. Plus, Ilheim and his goons were always blocking his shine. Since the Avenger got a squad, things got way messier. Cho was vibing with pure rage, swearing to crush those losers. He stomped the ground, sending a spray of rocks and grit flying way too far. Hoops! He realized he'd pelted some random kid walking by. The stranger's vibe was chill, but he moved like a ninja. Joe barked at him to quit staring or get wrecked. Dugan ignored the flex, asking who'd already beaten Cho up. Cho hated the sass and swung first, treating him like a punching bag. Turns out, Dugan knew way more than he let on. He mocked Cho for acting tough after getting owned by a kid. The bully snapped, grabbing the dude's shirt collar, kick-starting the brawl. Locking eyes, purple hair popped the blue pill and swallowed it with a smirk. Young Cho screamed that this wasn't a comedy show. He totally missed Dugan, hulking out veins, popping, muscles, swelling. Quit laughing, the thug shouted, swinging a wild haymaker. Kid didn't flinch, just bobbed his head. Bam! The goon went airborne and plastered the wall. He dropped, spitting teeth. Young Cho, lights out. Next day, the girls vented to Leho. Red was salty about losing cash for nothing. The whole gig was a wash, and she even lost her hat. Boom quack Dugan crashes the party. Still sore, Red snapped. Spit it out if you've got something to say. Instead of chatting, dude waves a hand and snacks on another magic mint. He licked his lips, powering up, and called them walking disasters, needing a timeout. Mu would have flipped seeing these meds in action. Stuff worked like video game mana. Dugan swole into a muscle mountain and stalked the girls. I'm boss now, he bragged. Young Cho got his, you're next. The guy's eyes went Dima mode as he mocked their earlier hype. Then he charged before they could process the crazy. Red froze, jaw on the floor. Tried to sass him but choked. A meat hook was already aiming for her skull, and Dugan wasn't playing petite. Kim got swatted aside like a total noob, but the gangster bounced back, launching an istrick off the pavement. Whiffed it. He was too fast and went for Red again. Whack Brunette saved the day with a long leg kick. But get this. Dugan's head didn't budge. Like kicking concrete. Kim came in hot with an elbow, but zero reaction. He just stood there, Impact hurt her way more than him. Felt like she snapped a bone. She was absolutely fuming. Her pal tried to boot his dome again. Still, nothing. Guy turned to stone, or what? Sistoka looked totally shook. Brain.exe stopped working. She just stood there, foot resting on his rock-hard face. That noggin definitely ain't normal hard as a rock. But nobody said this dude was basic, right? Blink, and you miss it, he snags the hottie's ankle. Snap. He breaks the bone like it's a stale cookie. She's crying, Book. It's not 'cause it hurts, but 'cause her kicks are useless now. She hits the dirt, grabbing her Legwa, Laduda, and Kim Chug just stare at the champ, flopping around cold. Her bestie loses it and charges revenge time. She's ready to turn his face into mash. Girl's got skills, and she's going all out. Mad respect. She lands like 10 hits, raining combos, but the bad guy just chills. Dugan yawns, grabs her face with his creepy red hand, and squeezes it. Her eyes practically bug out from the pressure. Grows. Ghidorah tries to talk, but it sounds like total gibberish. Bro tells her to quit flailing 'cause it tickles. The disrespect? She asks, what's up with his body? But instead of chatting, he swats her like a fly straight into the wall. Splat. The jerk just grins at the carnage. Classic villain move. Guess Q&A isn't really his thing. Kim Chugak drops. Totally out cold. Gravity wins this round. Then she face plants right on the concrete. Nap time. Quack Dugan checks their code and dips before anyone sees. He shouts that this so-called Adori level is total trash and nobody's awake to argue anyway. He walks off, hyping himself up. Like, did I really say that? I'm so cool. Purple shirt nephew shows up while Whistle tries to drag her friend to the ER. The dude in the hoodie grins. Was my exit sick or what? Yeah, epic fight, bro. Quack Dugan's shaking with hype, thinking he's gonna be God mode soon. They keep walking, and the guy asks, since I wrecked them all, can I get my wish now? Nephew says yes. Then Genius wonders, why don't you take the pill and fight? Purple guy stays. He knows it ain't that easy, fam. Uncle said strong drugs equal nasty side effects. Big yikes. First off, the pill turns you into a total psycho. You go rage mode and lose all chill. Second, take too much and boom, you literally explode. No thanks. So he lies to Quack Dugan, claiming he's on herbal meds or whatever. They stroll off, clueless that someone's creeping on them. Peep the kicks hits. Definitely leave. Our boy scans the area, hunting for Sistoka to leave his mark. The hat wasn't enough. Loot for Moo. He needs that brunette ASAP. After looking around, the dude goes back to school with nothing. Asks the head boy, who's the champ? She checked her socials. That's true. Other guy is If the web isn't lying, she chilled on the chair by Jan's bag. Let's hit my school district. Dragon guy agreed. Our hero asked for a paper map 'cause HE's hopeless with GPS. Zero tech skills. Yujin rolled her eyes. Grandpa, but drew it anyway. Earth's Lord used the scribble. Yonin used his phone. Almost at the spot. Dragon's mumbling was annoying. Hero got twitchy. Reached the school. Place was swarming with kids. Earth's Lord stared down the gate like a boss. Time to crash the party. Lucky break. Jidori Brunette hobbled out on crutches. Spotted Leho and limped over fast. Wanted her hat back. Felt naked without it. Chat done. She was visiting a pal, some psych erected. At the hospital, Moo was shook. Redhead was beat so bad she couldn't sit up. Whistler said the attacker was a tank. Took 0 damage. Guys, name is Quack Dugan. Total nerd. Skipped school, but cops know now. Suddenly, a loud sigh from behind the divider. Leho's ears perked up. Was that? Brunette looked back too. Eavesdroppers. Can't trust anyone these days. Hero yanked the curtain. Jaw dropped at the sight. Young Cho was mummified in bandages. Couldn't speak. Just groaned until he managed to shift the rap. Spat one name. Quack Dugan. They leaned in, but only caught. Angry rants about the guy who smashed the redhead. Young Cho flipped out. Nurse sprinted in with meds. Screamed that the patient was losing it. Called for the sleep doc, ASAP drama. Meds kicked in. He chilled enough to spill the tea. John Cho hated the crew, but he'd talk about Quack. Big guy hit his face. And explained. Nerd popped a weird pill. Got buffed. Was a total wimp before. Post pill. Strongest monster Young Cho ever fought. Moo thought big guy was top dog. Nope, wrong. Our hero got hyped. Like really hyped. Itching to throw hands with this Quack guy. A real boss fight. He instantly asked where to find him. Brunette was like, nobody has a clue. Even the cops are totally stumped. Earthlord goes, what's a cop? And gets ignored. Classic. Licking his chops, he vowed to hunt down this Dogen weirdo solo. He's got his own crazy tricks. But school's a drag? Teach slapped Leho with some work therapy. Ordered him to haul boxers. Claiming he WASN, single quotes, T just a gym coach. Teaching life skills. Apparently, Moo's brain was definitely somewhere else. Obsessed with tracking the dude who wrecked Red and the gangster, word is Quack, Dungo. Leho kept dragging. Those crates, totally missing his target, walking right upstairs. Guy gripped a pick, yapping on his phone. School's in session, so the target's gotta be trapped there. Voice on the line screamed, "Not yet. You moron." Did he want the whole school knowing he was juicing? Dugan hung up. Nope, he's finishing this right now. Door windows, let him peek inside without busting the vibe. Just Hane. Chillin' in class, yawning like crazy, but still grinding. Exams don't pass themselves. Dugan double-checked a pick. Bingo, found him. Dude was a total match. Popped a pill, instantly. Time to show his boss around here. Kid inside was too deep in the books to notice. Baddie lurked by the door. Student didn't even blink. Then Dugan barged in. Game over. No point hiding now. Yelled his name. Kid looked up, staring at the no-massive thug. Looking straight up demonic, the psycho... Swore he'd Hunan, right there. Yikes. Grabbed a chair with a kid still in it. Poor guy flinched hard. Dugan hoisted the... desk, and the kid, who clung on for dear life, screaming, hurled the chair right at our hero. Student hit the deck. Wailing, total chaos erupted. He stood up, didn't dodge. Stone cold. Jumped last second, knowing there was a... window back there. Broken glass equals bad news. Class freakout mode. Activated. Someone screamed for a teach. Lai Jun wasn't mad. Yet. Rage was brewing. Asked who the heck this weirdo was first. Wanted to ask, seriously, why me? But Dugan yelled shut it, and charged, aimed right for the gut. But our hero barely ducked, but his left arm still got clipped. It was enough to launch the kid sideways, smashing him into the wall fast. He slid down groaning. But the baddie had zero chill and attacked again. The next shot whiffed, and the kid realized it was basically survival mode now. The thug's fist punched right through a locker door, wrecking the gear. That pill numbed him out completely to any pain. Hedgen braced himself, fight or die. At least it was self-defense, right? He slugged Quack Dugan in the chest so hard that he flew back several meters while his adrenaline spiked. That one actually hurt, cause the guy made a super weird face. Hedgen followed up with a headbutt. Movie totally copied from our hero and was spamming now. Quack Dugan looked down, checking if his ribs were still attached. Or at least, that's how it looked to the crowd. Then he snapped his head up laughing, telling the kid to quit tickling him. Instead of talking, the schoolboy uppercut him to shut up the trash talk. The villain admitted he actually felt that one, but said playtime was officially over. He crushed Hun's arm till bones snapped, making the students scream. The class froze in terror, while nosy kids peeked in from the hallway to watch the drama. John and Kong Shul showed up, totally confused about who jumped her brother. Someone had to do something. So, the beauty yeeted a slipper at the thug's back to get his attention. He glared back and Jun charged, ready to claw his face off, screaming wild. The big guy wondered who this was and raised a hand to stop the girl mid. He swung right at Da Jun's face, but luckily she slammed the brakes. Her classmate, however, sped up and Kong Shaw managed to block, stopping Quack Dugan cold. Why Sister Hyuna calmed down from the scare. The boxer said he'd handle her security detail personally. Dude wasted zero time, elbowing that grabby hand hard. The tight grip failed, and the kid hopped back, warning him not to mess with his sis. Huna went full demon mode, ready to serve instant karma. He charged his foe with speed that guy couldn't match, pills or not. Teach and Leho froze at the weird noise in the hall. Students nearby were yapping, and gossip about God was going viral. Scared kids begged Coach to help while fleeing the brawl. They were halted by a crash. Teach tried to ID the noisy kid squealed that the intruder was some rival school punk crashing senior year to jump a student. Teach flipped, sprinting over to hand out free beat. Our hero decided this was way more hype and hauling. Crates can't miss a brawl. He eated the box, yelling he's backing up the coach. Dude bolted for the stairs. Get up there and satisfy his craving for chaos. Backpack Young hated the bouncing but sensed drama. The lizard popped out, swearing he smelled mana. They needed to watch their backs. Since Lucifer Matev breached the wall or something equally bad. Meanwhile, Quack Dugan was juggling too. Pros. The boxer slipped every punch effortlessly. Reflexes on point. Skills sharpened from the grind. He clocked that this goon was all muscle, no brain. Zero actual technique involved. Plus, Hyjin timed sneak attacks to cover the champ. He dropped the thug, making him spew trash talk. Kong Shaw seized the moment and jammed fingers right into the guy's eyes. Hyjin copied the move, reminding the brute that muscles don't protect eyeballs. Four hands rained combos on Quack Dugan. Zero mercy. The giant realized he didn't have the juice to handle two aces. Cursing loudly, he spotted a bald kid behind the boxer and locked on. He ditched his opponents. Confused and charged the door towards that dude. Students fled in terror while Baldy cowered at the door. Quack Dugan grabbed his shoulder and roared for another pill fast, or the mission was toast. Baldy played dumb. so Ghidorah shook him, yelling to cough up the goods, or else he couldn't teach. Hygien'll listen, and their lunch money racket ends. Finally, Hun clicked on what was happening. He squinted at his classmate, and ID'd him instantly. Baldy was the purple hoodie dude running the shady loan shark office, now mumbling nonsense. Puzzle solved, and the kid got totally triggered. Can't believe he sat in class with such trash. Looked like bro Dijon was gonna shred him, but who knows. Baldy sighed and popped. The pill in Ghidorah's mouth mission comes first. He paused, swallowing hard while Coil's nephew hyped him up like a chaotic cheerleader. Claimed he blew way too much of the stash on level 1, so he had to clutch up now or face total doom. Suddenly, the big guy felt swole, like he chugged 10 energy drinks. Now, he went full gripe mode, whole body purple, not just hair. Hyjin told Kangareel to back off, acting all salty and protective of his family. The fight pro just shrugged, ignoring the classmate, begging him to sit this one out. But a split second later, he zoomed past, at Mach speed, totally ghosting that stay away request. Bully was so buffed, now he could pinky flick walls into dust. First victim on the list. Then Young Cho got wrecked. The squaw was officially he morphed into a giant grape blob. 0 brain cells left. Done panicked hard, cause that beast was right for her, and her broa was direct to help. Quack swiped, but she juked him, trying to bolt to H-Jun. She focused, but a giant paw loomed, ready to yeet her across the room. Except, nope, that failed cause. Someone stepped up, and he definitely wasn't a scrub. Teach growled, asking which punk thought they could break rules. He clamped down hard and announced, class was in session for the rude kid. Q sudden arm wrestling, coach trying to brute force the win. Bad news? Quack was OP, and Teach's fingers just gave out. He bailed, terrified, sprinting to dial 9. While the brawl raged and the bullies 0 chill, Leho strolled in to scope the drama. Hype for action. Union pointed at the savage. Meathead, claiming that dude reeked of mana. Mesta looked where the dragon pointed and spotted the OR. Sidekick was right. Purple hoodie guy clocked the lizard instantly. Now, that critter could go back to the goons and make them serious bank. Just gotta snatch it off that loser's noggin. Baldy reached for Yan, demanding his loot back ASAP. Our hero skipped the chat and just grabbed the dude's head and ate his face with an elbow. That code the Baldy, but Quack was lurking right behind. Boss screamed to Rekko. 3 idiots blocking the cash flow. Big guy nodded. He targeted Leho while the others scraped off the wall. Giant fist incoming fast. But Hero just stood there, bored. For some reason, it was just a poke. Quacksan shrank back to normal. Purple Hair was totally shook by that. He popped 2 pills, thought the juice would last. Turns out, Union swiped his mana. So the dude's punch was basically a noodle slap. Leho cracked up, then cracked him in the jaw instantly. That hit left Quack with 0 moves left. He just curled up and screamed like a baby. Meanwhile, Draghi held the orb, buzzing on that magic high. Mr. Purple was floored, whining like a loser. Moose stared. Nope, this won't fly. Beating a wimp is totally boring. He told Dragon to refund the power. Dragon hesitated, sweating. Boss, this isn't normal juice, he said. It's super pure. Gotta be careful. Yongin finally tossed it back. Quack glowed blue, again. Sneaky secretary skimmed some off the top, thinking that was enough. Moo wasn't buying it. Don't be cheap, he said. Juice him up to max power. Earth's mana tank is dry. Only a god drop comes with that stuff. Which meant someone else was meddling here? Moo huffed. Dragon turned tomato red. Master clocked him instantly. When he dodged the Q and dumped all the mana into the bully. It was obvious he was going to go all out to crush Leho for good. 1,000 years ago, drama went down at the Cyclops' divine path. Our boy decided to beef with a literal god. Bad move. Dude was massive, super, buff, and holding clubs in all 4 hands. Scary. At first, Moo just spammed the dodge button. He was relying on speed. Big Eye win giant mode, yelling, quit moving, you not. He smashed his club right on the spot. Anyone else would have been splattered. Moo hopped. Cyclops swung again, struggling with that heavy gear. Swing and miss. Over and over. This went on for hours. Finally, Moo got salty and snapped the club in one go. Used his special spin move he wanted to test out. Cyclops, rage, quit, and shrank down, begging him to stop trolling. Moo spun toward the gate, telling the beast to scram until it leveled up. He was over their lame fights. The Earth Boss wind? 2. The dragon crushing weaklings is a drag. How can I get stronger without a worthy rival? Young started to brainstorm ways to fix his master's boredom crisis. Suddenly, a big brain moment hit him, but Union kept quiet for a sec to be safe. The monster ghosted Moo's turf for a bit, then dropped a massive boulder right in front of him. Moo asked, what? Why? Where? The dragon just shrugged, grabbed it from Earth. He blasted it with a heavy magic spell to show off a new trick he'd cooked up. The rock got pulverized into dust, finer than glitter. Then Yan scooped up some powder and gulped it down. Looked pretty rough to do. Then he hacked the goop back up. It mixed with weird dragon tummy juices Mu couldn't identify. For the next few minutes, the monster mashed it all into a lump that looked like magical Play-Doh. He decided to juice the dough with max mana, charging it up fully. Finally, Yonan slapped his signature on it. He gazed at his work like a proud dad. Total science experiment. Victory. Mu asked what's up, and the dragon said, it's a mana boost snack for strength. Feed this to a baddie, and the fight won't be a total The monster showed a tiny single dose, but the boss grabbed a huge chunk. BRB, I'm starving for a real brawl. He cheered. Luckily, he skipped Earth and warped to planet Cyclops. Last thing Yonan heard was a panicked scream. A sec later, a loud crash echoed from the portal. Yon braced to help, but his master flew back out on his own. Guess that Cyclops got buff enough to toss a god. Mu crossed his arms, grinning. That stuff works. I'm stoked. Suddenly, the angry Cyclops lunged at our hero, way bolder than ever before. His look had totally changed, too, and Mu charged at the intruder with pure hype. Powers were even now. Punches flew so fast the dragon couldn't keep up, but he stayed put to guard the magic goo. Whoops! In a rage, Mu smashed the safety shield, and the Cyclops went plummeting down fast. He was free-falling. If he hit, it'd be game over. Not the plan. But the sketchiest part was that a blue glob of the power-up stuff was falling toward Earth too. It zoomed at the surface like a total doomsday comet. Thank God the backup shield did its job and bounced the blue blob away like a rubber ball. Click! The weird glop smacked the dragon right on the nose, and he shut his eyes tight, praying he wouldn't snort or eat it. It pinged off his snout, rocketing back to Earth. This time, the barrier didn't block it, since Mu's buddy technically sent it. Yong's jaw dropped, frantically hoping the blob would splash in the sea or vanish where nobody'd see. Perched on his boss's shoulder, the dragon groaned about the tiny The god just shrugged, like, same old story. Eyeball in the purple beast, Leho muttered. Oh, just fantastic. Time to party. The monster clutched his head. Quack Dugan lunged fast, but the kid sidestepped the hit effortlessly. He shifted his muscle mass, buffing up one arm for a mega punch. Didn't go great, mostly because the bad guy's reach was way longer. Still, the hit landed. Leho stared at his trembling fist. Guys, tough, gotta try harder. The foe swung again, the air screaming from the sheer force. Tanking that hit, not easy, but God's got moves, dodging every swipe and refusing to get caught. Roaring that he was gonna squash the rat, the bully raised both arms. Terrifying stuff. The smash was so hard, blinding sparks flew everywhere. Too bright to look, the school rattled like a legit earthquake. Walls vibrated like crazy miracle. They didn't crumble. Kids got launched half a meter up, screaming, scared of getting squashed. Leho managed to hop back, but the shaking floor and flying desks made standing tough. Quack Dugan saw his chance and snagged our hero's arm. Gotcha, Ratty sneered. He hoisted the kid up, obvious what was coming next. The giant swung, and the nerd ragdolled across the whole room, smacking the wall. Stopped Mu's flight. He stuck there like a lawn dart. The speed even shredded his clothes. Dragon rushed over. Neat backup. I can drain his mana again? The boy said, nah, he didn't need help, just wanted a mana. Check on the bad guy to plan ahead. Union-eyed Quack Dugan, who was stalking over to finish the job. He said the stuff wears off in 5 minutes. Shorten it. Mu hissed. No. He eyed his foe with mixed vibes. Fight's been 5 minutes. Gotta last 5 more. He'd never find another beast this tough. So, he got hyped. He was gonna brawl no matter what. He stood up. I'll wrap this up before time runs out. Dragon guy was sus, but kept his trap shut. Earthlord's face just screamed a challenge accepted. He was gonna be major trouble. Choi Sangle, rocking a hammer, stood there holding a decent hunk of magic goop, figuring it'd do for the moment. He chipped off 1/10 of the blue orb, saving the leftovers for later. Leho flexed so hard, his shirt quit life, ripped straight off his bod. Peeping what Quack Dugan had morphed into, our boy knew a straight brawl would total this nerd body he was driving. But if he could vibe with him, on just one level, it was go time. After 3 million years of gains, Mu's real muscles were just too to keep the power but ditched the bulk. The god used a sick hack. He figured out how to shrink his guns down while maxing out their density stats. Now Earthlord wasn't a tank, but his speed and skills leveled up hard. Dude triggered muscle compression in one arm for max DPS. Fingers crossed. While he buffed up, the brute got in his face. Dragon warned him a massive meat hook aimed for Earthlord's dome. He had to react. Like Mu juked first. Wanted to see the guy smash some furniture for science? Asura lockers were perfect test dummies. Kid just watched the show. At the last sec, the heavy guys mid-swerved and palmed our hero's face. Not to squish him, but to yeet him into the wall. Way smarter play. Leho went airborne, shifting his gains to his back to tank to hit, saving his arms. Damage control. Still hurt like crazy though. And the Earthlord bit his tongue, so Leho's weak bod wouldn't scream its head off. Once he stuck the landing, dude buffed his arms to clap back. Kang Cha and Hyjin were chilling on his flanks. After maxing the bulk, he had to compress it. To boost the stats, Mu nailed it. Quack Dugan was incoming, planning to flatten the annoying brat. Kid didn't wait to get squashed, he YOLO'd right at him. Fist first. They clashed at the same time. The energy explosion was totally epic. School windows gave up and shattered, raining glass everywhere. The Hulk stared at his paw, shook. First time since popping those meds he actually felt ouch. Batty got so salty, he charged straight in. Mu flexed his arm harder, 2 layers deep, and ran at him. Quaken swung first, but tried again, kept missing. Leho didn't wait for an invite. Threw hands left and right, loving it. Their fists bumped a few times, but it wasn't a total wipeout anymore. Skill went out the window just. Pure spamming now. Seeing that failed, they both went full nuke mode simultaneously. Another flash blinded everyone, sending desks flying like Quack Dugan was shook. He realized his enemies' stats rivaled his own. How was this shrimp matching him? The bully's hands started shaking, and he let out some choice words. He definitely didn't expect this dude to be such a savage. Physics 101 Lihos, smaller fist, packed way more punch per inch. With less than 60 seconds on the clock, our hero wasn't gonna waste time. A chance to KO this beast? He's taking it. He zoomed at the big guy like lightning, charging up a triple clenched haymaker. A weird dent suddenly popped out on the school's outer wall. Windows were long gone, leaving these creepy black void holes. A split second later, that dent exploded into a massive hole. As Quack Dugan got yeeted right through the brickwork, the Hulk faced, game over for him. He splatted right in front of a totally shocked teacher and a cop who started screaming for paramedics and SWAT. Poof, his body shrank back to normal size instantly. So no SWAT needed, but after that fall, dude definitely needed a doctor. Mu stood there peeking through the wall. Daejeon crept up to get a look too. Meanwhile, Baldy grabbed Union, squeezing the monster tight. The second Leho turned around. The goon dropped the dragon, yelling he wasn't quitting yet. Claimed Quack was the weakest link, and he'd bring back the squad. Union hit the floor in a ninja pose, bragging about his skills, showing off those sharp teeth and claws. Magic was offline. Sadly, suddenly, Mu collapsed to his knees. The dragon rushed over, asking if he was okay. Little guy was totally freaking out about his master. He kept asking, but got zero reply. The Earthlord just stayed silent. Then he grinned and burst out laughing. Guess he wasn't dying? Hero told his secretary to just chill out and forget about it. No need for the drama queen act. He made a face so creepy you'd hope he hadn't gone total psycho. To make the pills, they had to grind ancient fossilized mana dust. This was Choice Isle's job rolling pills sized for max effect, 0 damage. Suddenly, a bald kid stormed in, shouted at his uncle, and ran at him, arms open. But nah, wasn't going for a hug. He slammed the table, demanding the powered-up drugs right now. The kid knew for a fact. Reckon Leho solo was the only play left on the board. Dude crinkled the paper. Salty, he'd fronted so many pills. How'd he burn through 'em that fast? Baldy moaned he was dosing 3 a pop, begging for a refill. Choi Sanjo flipped at the crazy burn rate. 1 hit usually wrecks anyone, right? Boss called Cap. So the nephew just slammed the desk hard. Then, boom, a thing smacked the door, spooking the bickering. Nobody entered, just brawl noises, echoing outside. Ko and the nephew tried to process the chaos. The door creaked open, hiding the madness behind it. Leho loomed in the frame, flexing a weird purple vibe. Deaths, not the bad meds, though. Boss panicked. Who's this kid? Where's security? Dude was clueless that his goons were currently napping on the floor. Total key. Earthlord cleared the path. 0 interruptions. NPC guards were a total snooze fest. Mu skipped a chat. I'm ready. Bring your big boss. He only asked because of the Baldy's threat to fetch their top-tier fighter. Mu suddenly got this crazy itch. 1v1, the baddest dude in the building. But first, gotta patch up the HP bar. He pinged Yan for a health pack. Waiting, he imagined dropping epic combos. While the dragon horked up the rock, Leho chanted, might makes right, snagged the healing orb, and the kid was ready to reset his stats to 100%. Full heal plus buffs, complete. Now, Leho's avatar was ready to tank anything. He told the dragon, keep up, and it hopped on. They headed out, but Young Cho yelled. Yup, Boxer asked, where to? Nerd, chasing thugs. Too risky, I'm coming. Hearing that high Tried to stand, bragging he'd wreck him fast. Kid ignored him, spun around, and marched back looking super sketch. The nearer he got, the Clara, it was Zeal. Hugs incoming. He snatched their ankles and yanked him hard. Boys were confused until Moo yanked harder. Pop goes the ligaments. Now they need a medic, not a fight. Both screamed and swore. 4. Begging him to chill, swearing they were totally innocent. June got in the Earth Lord's face, demanding he quit bullying her, bro. Our guy just shrugged, saying he barely touched him, just ensuring the big boss comes for him alone. With a small fry gone, Leho zoomed for the exit to catch that sneak. He caught up, right? Before the kid vanished into his uncle's hideout, the kid froze. A bouncer, he thought. Fighting him now would be way too loud and annoying. Jung Yong squeaked that it looked risky. Hearing danger made Mu grin like an idiot. He fixed his face and strolled up, ghosting the shade-wearing guard. Mr. Shays blocked him, asking where the heck he was going. Guy looked like a total hobo, honestly. Leho lied. Dude inside promised me stuff. Plus, my pet's coming. Guard was like, no way. And Boo made a fist for his trouble. Smart mouth. Smash. They busted the glass and stormed in. Other guards stared, shocked, but figured they could stomp him as spoiler alert, they couldn't. Leho needed a warm-up before the boss battle, and these goons were perfect punching bags. As they charged, he already mapped out the combo to drop them all. A creepy grin lit up his face. Just a warm-up, but he'd still throw hands. Like 60 seconds later, the goons were toast. Leho kicked open the office door to find Baldy and Uncle. He rushed in, hyped for a brawl, but the vibe was super lame. Moose smirked, weirdly, asking where the ultimate fighter meant to kill him was hiding. Baldy spun around, pointing at Lee, telling Chisenil, that's the psycho who wrecked the pill. Union growled, swishing his tail like a moody cat. Offended by the sass, the little monster yelled that his master was totally sane and ripped. So shut up. Actually, Earthlord looked totally unhinged. He just wanted to throw punches. Ace. Leho asked for the big boss again. Baldy winned to his uncle. Uncle saw his guards get wrecked and realized this kid was legit. So he promised to unleash the beast, but with a catch. If my crew beats you, you work for me forever. Moo grinned and said deal. Baldy yelled, I want the lizard to, or no fight, and the champ stays hidden. He pointed at Yan, demanding keep seas. If Leho lost, Moo was totally down for it. Dragon hated being a trophy, but knew his boss never loses. So the brawl went down in the pit. Leho looked tiny, but he wasn't a new. Nephew asked if the win was a lock. Guy grinned. Relax. I got a strat. The purple-haired dude flexed, clueless. He was fighting a god with 3 million years of He popped a mana pill. The goal? Stall the hero. Don't beat him. He charged. Yellin' boss said kill, but I'll just wreck you. Moose sidestepped. The clumsy oaf. Too easy. Our hero prepping a nasty bone-breaking grip. He grabbed the arm, snatched the pill lights out. Dude screamed, dropped, and begged. For mercy, let go. It hurts. Round 1 over. Cho realized Leho was way up. He sent out a weaker scrub to see if it was just luck. Big guy chugged the juice and eyes glowing. Hero ignored the script and countered. Powered up his legs. Kicked so hard, the guy went flying back instantly. The guy asked in shock, what was that? Silence. Pow. Fist to face. No time for tutorial. He was getting ticked off now. Fighter 2 got ragged out across the ring. He stared right at TOGO. This ain't the deal. Bring the big guns. The gang froze. Then boss squeaked. Okay, real fighter coming up. A guy watched, clutching 2 pills. He'd already dosed up. The pretty boy morphed into a monster, right there. Muscles bulged, veins popping like crazy. Only magic kept him from exploding. It was Office Blondie, now a cage fighter. Seeing his buddy, Baldy screamed. Scared the Hulk would want payback. Blondie was double the size. Now he stepped up, Leho thought. Whoa, definitely a double dose. Watching this showdown play out, totally sick. When asked if he was the champ, Blondie shrugged, but claimed he was the alpha dog here. He eyed his buddy, flopping on the ground like a twitchy fish. Totally Dude nearly tripped, but kept that mega leg cocked, ready to strike. He punted that poor guy like a literal soccer ball. The body zoomed past Moo, slamming the fence hard. Our boy realized getting kicked by those tree trunks would absolutely suck. Joel freaked out seeing his goons wreck each other at first. Then, a creepy grin spread across his face. Being a total baddie meant he actually dug the violence. Boss loved that. Leho spaced out while Blondie charged in. That nasty knee smashed, tagged his arm, finally waking him up to reality game. The hit launched Moo sideways, sliding across the tiles like he was ice skating, sands, the ice, or blades. He braked at the wall, his fresh kicks smoking like crazy. The Earth Lord checked his sneakers, soles totally fried. R.I.P. shoes. Blondie kept coming. Dude's legs were clearly gassed out, so he decided to aim high, chucking his shoes right at the manager's face. The giant panicked for some reason and started blocking, even though he could have just swatted them away. Just a classic bait-and-switch move. Our hero dipped low to wreck him from underneath, charging up that giant slaying hit that worked back home. Mu went four-legged mode, an ancient tricos. Blondie kicked, but his moves were laggy, while the Earth Lord was dude whiffed every shot while our guy kept spamming kicks. Blondie wind. Are you a cockroach? Or what? That ticked him off, so we threw a haymaker to shut him up. Smacked him right into kisser. Silence achieved. But the brute didn't quit. He grabbed the wrist. Cracked it. Blondie smirked. See? Moves exactly like a bug. And he was an expert not cool. Our hero thrashed with his free hand to escape. Punches failed. So Mu needs way better. He yanked loose and hopped back while the giant rebooted his brain. Too slow Blondie cleared his nose. Sure, the bug was totally toast. Leho, actually, kinda agreed with the meathead. His hits were barely scratching this tank. The Earth Lord got totally bummed, losing his mojo and putting on his best emo face. Dude was racking his brain for the next move. Snap some joints? Go old school wrestling? Or just buff up? Right then, the manager guy charged in. His legs were jacked. That knee aimed for a game over. Leho face stanked. That hit. Spoiler. 0 stars. Would not recommend. So our Earth boss clapped back, aiming a FIST right at the dude's breadbasket. Enemies spammed that knee move again. Talk about a one-trick pony. Hero got salty. Was he seriously too weak? Time for a cheat code. Denser muscles. Smaller size. Done. Fists clashed, and Blondie finally realized he was in trouble. To seal the deal, our guy hardened a knuckle, poking it out like a spike. Boom. Body shot. Manager gasped, grinding his teeth hard. Spit went flying everywhere. Mu's rival was losing it. Now for the fun part. He rained down combos, knocking the big guy back every time. Finally, the god was actually having a blast. He cracked the code to beat this giant. Manager tried blocking but failed, becoming a sitting duck. Choi and his bald nephew didn't see that coming. They watched, freaked out, as their tank got wrecked. Dragon cheered, knowing his master was strongest beast ever after serving him for Ian. Bose couldn't get how a school kid beat a double-boosted bruiser, yelling at. This was a total no-go. The man sprinted to the ring. Blondie was barely standing, covered in marks. The buff guy shook, totally giving up. Finally, he dropped to his knees, hiding his head. Dude was out of ideas. Leho didn't pull the plug yet, just watched him hit the deck like it was game over. Suddenly, a blue pill rolled up. Manisha spotted it just in time. Boss hung on the net, begging him to pop the med for the win. Choi started signaling. Blondie 2 down that blue candy ASA. Swallow it, win easy, and get a sweet payday. Double the cash. Nah, he'd pay 4 times the loot. Checking the boss and the pill. Weighing the odds, the guy crawled for the pill. He grumbled about risking a 3rd dose after the first 2, but the chance to cash out won. Blondie gulped that magic junk down. Dude swall up fast. Chisangul cheered. But Mu knew the boss fight wasn't over yet. The manager morphed into a total freak show, losing his human look. Even his teeth turned into sharp fangs, which wasn't shocking because the moron popped 3 dragon pills at once. He looked so scary, the boss screamed. Smash that roach. Knowing he'd win, the enemy charged, aiming to land a nasty 2-hit combo. He felt totally juiced up with raw power. A fist flew at Mu's face. He had to act fast or get wrecked by that strength. Most likely, the beast's bones were still soft and mushy. So, the Earth Lord decided to buff up his muscles even more. He shifted all his torso bulk to his arms, keeping just enough to stand. Then the guy used a squeeze move, packing his hands tight to boost his power level. The best part? A super compressed finger, right at the striking point. The monster's paw, coming. But Leho prepped his fist. Sure, his counter would land. But first, he had to juke that giant hand. Easy peasy, given the guy's bulk. His killer fist aimed for the ribs to rearrange him a bit. Dude was wide open. Being slow, he got hit hard by our hero. But the attack flopped. The enemy was brick hard, so Earthlord hopped back to safety. His finger snapped against that steel bud, meaning just one thing. To stay alive, he needed a fresh plan. Blondie crouched, looking around for where his rival went. While the kid plotted his next move, suddenly, the manager used his insane leg power to launch Sky. Even Mu was shook, and he's seen tons of monsters. Guess someone could still catch him off guard. Blondie hung from the roof, aiming to squash the bug as ordered. When he slammed, crazy speed, the floor shattered, sending debris flying everywhere. Our hero went flying too, knocked out cold, and tossed back. The enemy's hand, gripping his ankle tight with giant fingers, stopped his fall. Then the boss slammed Leho into the floor rubble, swatting him like a pesky fly. Earthlord blacked out, hanging like a bleeding wreck. Every hit drained the nerd's HP a bit more, and it's game over. Yang screamed. seeing his master wrecked, was new. The dragon ran down to save Moon. Whatever the cost, the secretary, he swore to drain the Earthlord's enemy dry of mana and jumped straight into action. Suddenly, our boy's hand twitched in a super weird way. Trying to stand, he told Jan to chill and hold off on the rescue mission for a sec. Get this, dude was actually grinning. Crazy, right? No way was he missing out on keeping this epic brawl going. He clawed at the floor again to anchor himself. But total fail. Although his fingers gouged the ground, the Hulk kept swinging him like a rat. While he was frantically brainstorming what to do, it hit him. If he couldn't smash through Goldie's tough hide, he needed to target a squishier spot. The plan clicked, and Leho smirked again. Totally bizarre vibe for a beat. The very next second, swung over the giant's noggin, our hero prepped his fists for payback. He aimed for the skull, and wow, the payoff was way sweeter this time. The big guy's brain rattled inside his head with so much force that the brute glitched out and lost motor control for a sec. Giant fingers loosened up, finally dropping our guy's leg. Tiny win, sure, but definitely still a win. Leho flopped down right next to the boss, who shrieked like a banshee. Surprise! As he sat up, the boss started stammering excuses about how rules didn't technically ban tossing the fighter a third power-up pill. Our Earthlord wasn't going to waste breath on that garbage nonsense. He just spun around, eyed his enemy, and flashed a grin. Stunned, the boss squeaked out, asking why the heck the kid was laughing. Like, what's the big joke here? Moo finally replied, just thanking the dude for this one in a meal. He dashed back to the center, leaving the confused gangster who thought it was game over. You could tell by the boss's face he was totally lost and kissed his victory goodbye. The room was basically trash, but the guy was obsessed with why this psycho kept giggling. The fighters kept hammering each other. Power levels matched. Now, same battle. Hunger. The rich guy just froze up. Chunks of his super expensive arena walls and floor were flying everywhere. Realizing the whole place was gonna get wrecked, he started cursing up a storm. Choice started grinding at age 13, dreaming of this place and saving cash for years to build it. When the construction finally wrapped up, the gangster was on cloud 9. He seriously loved this building more than anything. Seeing it about to vanish, he screamed like a stranger. This wasn't the plan. The place was getting demolished instantly right in front of him, and he was helpless. Even his nephew figured out. It was over and bolted for the door to avoid getting squashed. Leho smashed through more floor tiles, but he was still ready to clap back. Just gotta stand up? Easy, right? Moving sucked. Big shadowy dude was creeping up. Earthlord squinted at the beef, checking if that head bonk scrambled his brain. Brain damage or not. Keep fighting. Slapped him so hard he felt the brain jiggle. Gross, but cool. Maybe that rattle actually hurt him. Kid hauled himself up for round 2. Adrenaline, high, self-care, low. Baddie flexed and launched into orbit. Landing spot, totally obvious. Coming for Lee's face. Ego bruised, or maybe he just wants cash. Ex-boss swiped, and suddenly, bro got yeeted across the room. Clawed the wall to break, while Mutant watched like it was TV. Skidded like 10 meters. And he didn't want to see his hamburger hand? Thinking hurt, Sumu went feral. Smash. Right in the noggin. The limb he used, was raw meat now? Blondie's skin, tough as nails. Touching this guy was basically suicide. Hobbling like a zombie, he made, a move closer. Blondie looked shook. He stared, totally confused. Why you still here, bro? Thought the kid was flexing. Q, Hulk rage. Big swing, incoming. Leho prepped a fist sandwich. Buffed up his muscle, fibers. Praying his arm wouldn't snap. 2 fists, mock speed. When they hit, it hurt. Both guys felt that one, both got blasted back. Same distance. Mutant's brain got rattled. No timeout. Earthlord swung fast. Aimed for the peepers. And the mutant was too slow. Or lazy. Leho saw, it worked, and got hyped. Ignoring his hamburger hand. Pow. Right in the kisser. Manager stumbled back. Earthlord figured he, cracked the code. Rinse and repeat. Felt good. Blondie panicked and hopped up to the nosebleeds. Kicked our guy into a fence first. Arm was dead. Moo told his bones to fix. But nope, no magic rock. Meanwhile, the other dude, with plotting the perfect jump to squash this bug flat. Blondie figured Leho might ditch his busted arm like a gecko tail. But then, he felt his power juice fading fast. No time to chill. Had to wrap this up, pronto. So the freak yeeted himself to the roof beams with zero prep. Pure luck kept him up, but the metal groaned under his Had to dive bomb, fast classic move for an ex-lone shark. He flew at our boy, teeth out and fists ready to smash. That landing? Yeah. It wasn't going to be fluffy pill. Moo's only brainwave was to scoot a tiny bit left. The purple blob whooshed by and face-planted, just grazing his cheek. His fists plowed the floor, shockwaves rocking our hero hard. sending him tumbling, but he coiled his legs tight instead of running. The guy lifted a foot to stomp, and right the noops. Realized going barefoot meant totally wrecking his own toes. Still went for it. The impact was basically nuke. Now Blondie had way bigger headaches to worry about. His mouth popped open, but zero sound came out. Knowing he couldn't hit back, he started shrinking and getting weak. Seeing the dude's skin get soft, Leho started spamming kicks. Eventually, he just started hopping on the loser, stomping his head and shoulders non-stop. The Earthlord's kicking leg was absolute pizza sauce, but the other guy's face looked even worse. Our boy paused. Keep going, or not? Didn't want to actually unalive him? Foot hovered inches from the guy's dome, hesitant to drop the hammer. Suddenly, Earthlord's eyes went totally blank and white. He froze like a statue, then stomped the floor, not the manager. Then the kid just started cracking up. Nervous giggles at first, then full-on maniac laughter. Bent over wheezing so hard, the whole place shook, like a quake hit. Laughter got cut short when a giant metal beam crashed right on Leho before he could dodge. Yunnan screamed, totally freaked, called his boss, but got go. The dragon went into full panic mode, dove down to the wreckage, hoping to shove it off somehow. But his monster mojo was gone. Couldn't even bust a fence at first. Choice. Angel was too scared to twitch. His life just crumbled. Wanted some fun cash, but ended up losing basically everything. The wreckage and total mess were just massive. Hoped the foundation held up, then realized, yeah, probably not. First, he thought arena profits could fix the damage. But now there was literally nowhere left to host fights. Young Finley skirted the fence, reaching the earth. Lord dude, just his wrecked arm was showing, twitching a bit. Creepy. Dragon Boy tried lifting that metal junk to free him. Budged it an inch. Then Jan recalled the Mega Buff candy. Brain blast. He spun fast to check if the CEO was still chilling there. Dude was grinning like a total maniac behind the fence weirdo. Dragon zoomed at the fence. Full send. Nearly smashed it, but decided Hopanova was smarter. Moo's assistant screamed to toss the meds. Pass the juice. But the guy played dumb. So Yan went beast mode, hugging his face with all paws. Big, mad. While he munched the dude's head, the trapped hand did some weird sign language. Confusing much. Sex later, Leho knew he was solo on this. Zero backup. His hand paused, then shoved the floor hard. Young and Choi's jaws dropped watching the wreckage float up. Hero Guy stood, hoisting the scrap. Resting it on his shoulder, Dragon hopped the fence, cheering. Tossed the junk, walked a bit, like what just hit me. Jan kept his mouth shut. Just cared if the bro was okay or needed a hand. Guy kept asking. So the monster paused. Thought a sec, then said. Stuff fell from the roof. Earth, Lord, yeah, I know the building smacked me. Somehow, that cracked him up. Smiled, hand up. Crystal clear, he said, whatever that meant. Clenched his fist, waving it around while giggling like a loon. Then Moo dropped his arm and popped his wrecked joints back. Snap, crackle, gross. Yong watched, impressed. He knew that crunch meant major ouch. All fixed up, and the Lord of the Earth waved his fist, testing the gears. Still met, so he smashed the floor with max power. Bam. Whole plates vibrated like crazy. Waz jiggled, sealing about to bail. Choi got yeeted but didn't run like his nephew. Brave or dumb. Huge crack split the wall, getting deep fast. Then another one popped up. Dude screamed. No way, this ain't happening. Building can't just fold. Screamed at Leho to quit punching or they'd all be toast. Dragon on the fence begged. Let's bail before we Jan's goal. Get Moo out. Even if they were all kinda doomed. The Earth dude asked if his sidekick was sure the place would crumble, and the guy just nodded. Eyes blazing. Our hero wound up to smash, cackling that wrecking it meant winning. His fist, squeezed tight, slammed the floor with insane force, and Waz wobbled way worse, totally ready to snap. Cracks popped everywhere. Kunjal knew his empire was toast. Jan totally got the vibe, but was stuck. Bail for safety or beg his boss to bounce. Meanwhile, that bald kid made serious tracks. He bolted outside, clearing like 200 meters. The whole front was splitting wide open. Boss's nephew kept sprinting till he heard a crazy boom back there. Nightmare real. The place was Pancake City. He checked where UNC's kingdom was. Now just a trash heap. Dust made it. Hard to see, but whatever just rocks and pipes left anyway, you'd think everyone was toast. But then a green claw popped out. Jong Yong lived. And not just lived, but started digging us up to find Earth Boss. He yelled for Moo and finally spotted him. Hero made it too, though he looked pretty wrecked. Dragon Guy popped his eyes, laughed, and yelled, I won. The owner made it too, heard the laugh, woke up, and dug himself out, freeing his torso real fast. But what he saw totally killed his vibe to keep going. Empire crushed. Business finished. Crazy luck though. The whole ball of buff drug was right by Chisengal. Seal still good. Boss got hopeful again. thinking maybe he could fix it, or at least clap back at the wreckers. Dragon grumbled if he knew it'd go like this, he'd have grabbed more heal orbs from home. But Lucifer blocked him. Leho said chill, he'd heal. Plus Earth has hers to fix him up. Dude didn't finish chatting about docks when rocks crashed above. Someone was coming from Mu and Yan. It was Cho Sunil, raging on so much juice. He went full beast mode, yelling, "You'll pay." He charged at our boys. Drago tried telling the dude he was too weak, but Moose stood up. Refusing to quit a fight, he started. Then he did his classic laugh. Like beating a boss again, hyped the Earth's Lord to do the impossible. Tough luck. The buff dude was way stronger and totally pummeled the grinning dude got launched back. Face planted into debris. He was doubting life while the dragon kept crying. Big guy towered over Mu, lifting a massive fist, yelling that the punk was gonna pay big time. The hit was insane, sending rocks flying. Keep going, and it's just dust left. Miraculously, Leho swerved. Just the wind hit him, but it still hurt like crazy. Actually, Yang saved him by yanking him back. Last second, MVP move. The lizard kept begging to get Mu to quit this dumb fight and just grab his mana back. Earth Lord said, nah, not yet fam. He'd end this solo. One body part wasn't totally wrecked yet. Hero got that glint back. Sure, he could beat the freak. Big deal for him. Mu told his little assistant he needed one last lefty kick. Win or beg for help after the dude stood and pumped every muscle into that leg while a giant fist rained down. His lower limb barely looked like a leg anymore. Totally gnarly. But hey, there was a reason. He dodged the attack and prepped his ult, pouring all his juice in. He didn't use his foot cause he needed to jump off the rocks. Surprise, he headbutted Croyle instead. Bullseye right in the gut, organs mashed, stomach destroyed. Total crit. Dude barfed in his mouth, choking cause his lungs quit. Grossed. Finally, the boss could breathe and hacked up everything that should have stayed down. The undissolved drug bits he took just exited the chat. Bada reacted fast, shrinking back to normal. Both dudes lay there, staring at each other. Earth Lord he was hyped, yelling about another dub. Dragon found the drug scraps, shouting, it's all good now. He drained the mana and heal his boss up. Suddenly, wind snatched the blue bits from his paws. Something weird was going down. Jongyong zipped to Mu to guard him, but the wind wouldn't chill. Dragon kept scooting to the hero. He realized the wind was loaded with mana. Sketchy at first, but the magic juice just kept spiking. Yongyong was stoked cause now he could go beast mode and sling spells. But he had zero clue where this earth mana came from. Whatever dragon decided to just vibe and exploit the glitch. He totally missed the purple claw ripping the shield and widening the gap. The giant violet beast wanted in, finally had his shot to crash the party. He made the opening himself, bashing Moose turf with those spheres. And Lucy wasn't quitting on smashing it yet. Demon Dude tried every single crazy trick in the book, but not a work trite. Earth Boss proofed the place against Elmer and any other haters. Bad luck. Lucy had a pal with a weirdly creative brain. Enter Soso, the third-ranked archer gal in Godland, asking, why the racket? Chick couldn't chill with the din, so she yelled to cut it out. Lucy ghosted her, laser-focused on the win. Despite failing hard so far, mad salty. The king mumbled bad words. He didn't get how that shield was OP, Soso saw copycats nearby. Gave the baddie a lit but totally nuts idea, he whispered. Gotta try it. She accidentally gave a pro tip, and he got straight to work. When Soso saw Elmer's boss making moves later on, she was like, no way. Realizing it, she screamed at the psycho to quit it. Ace. Lucy was deaf to it. Too far, busy eating his planet at Earth. Elmer was his crib way longer than Mu ruled Earth. He was over it. Now the jerk was ready. Trash his own hood just to beat his rival. Soso yelled to put the rock back and stop playing games or he'd wreck the whole vibe instantly. Too late. Lucy used full force to chuck Elmore at Earth. Each massive space rock had shields. Time to see whose was buff enough. Earth had better gear. Elmer's shell just got roasted touching the other shield. Now the planet itself attacked. Lucy, he knew Elmer's bulk would hit like a truck. Before the crash, he spammed mana spikes at the shield. At impact, absolutely nothing happened. Total letdown. Lucy was shook. He expected fireworks and an epic win. Not this flop. Soso was glued to the drama unfolding live. Never saw stuff this crazy in God mode before. Elmer's boss cheered, thinking his plan worked and Earth's shield cracked under the pressure. Turned out to be way more spicy than that. Two cosmic shields just smashed into one mega bear. Lucifer's mana started leaking straight into Moo's crib. Kinda pretty, but deadly since these worlds shouldn't mix. Mana bolt Swiss cheese to the Earth's barrier. Perfect chance for the Demon King to crash the party. But somebody else beat him to the punch? Remember that big purple dragon? Sky Toli. A glowing mana crack ripped right open. Beast used claws to pry it wide, visible to everyone. Dragon shoved its snout in for a quick peek. Found our human world pretty amusing. Everyone in town just froze in their tracks. Phones out, screaming, or just gawking at the sky. Faces showed they thought it was just cool movie Then folks started to realize they were stuck. Cue the actual panic mode. Magic was so heavy people couldn't breathe. Bad news. Total disaster. Guy in a red hoodie looks up. Dragon's laser focused on him, and he's shaken bad. Beast stares him down, like, why so pathetic? Bro, Dragon was hunting someone, and socied this guy out. Dude started tearing up. Frozen stiff. Couldn't say a word back. Lucifer asked Moo, what's the deal? Kid didn't answer, cause he ain't the Earth Lord. Beast poked its head out to scope the enemy. Since devovs were off, since nobody clapped back. Demon King got jumpy, thinking it's a trap, so he ducked back into the rift to gear up. Yun was healing the boss. Mana, for days, easy. Moo snapped awake, asking all tired like, what's up and why he felt magic on Earth. Dragons like IDK, just healing you while I can. The Earth Lord, checked the sky crack where Lucifer just peeked. Suddenly, someone else showed up there. Full helmet, total mystery, identity. Yonan wasn't done when spurs clinked and a knight landed. Before even hitting the ground, he half drew a massive warrior rushed, Moo and Dragon for a surprise attack. Knight eyed the Earth boss, said he's waited ages to serve justice. Jangyo turned and realized threatening his boss was a bad move. The blade jammed tight into the rock, inches from our boy's nose. He just squinted at the helmet guy. Zero, chill, lost. Knight dude shoved the blade deeper near Moo's dome, calling him totally pathetic. He tried to strike, but got tail slapped mid. Looks like mana brought someone's true form back. Union yeeted the enemy way back with one hit. Playtime's over. Dragon blocked the knight, asking why he was dissing the Earth Lord like that. Enemy said, just want to chat with Moo, so move it secretary. They already had their chance to. Yap, now it's our hero's turn. Yan said, over my dead body, and he wasn't bluffing. Knight summoned his sword with magic. Fight it is then. Blade popped out of the rocks and drifted to his hand. Thing looked crazy, heavy. Yonan squared up. With Earth mana back, he could totally wreck this clown. The baddie raised his sword to aim, and the dragon got ready to block. Tail or magic? Whatever works. Monster was like, I'm sick of your ego and doing nothing. Time for fun. Don't mess with him. He cast a spell fast. I'm not going down easy. Gotta do what you gotta do. Knight jumped, red cape flapping like an action movie. Epic vibes. Young's magic circles popped up everywhere. Warrior didn't know this. Magic and panicked a bit. Even his helmet was sweating. Unknown stuff is scary. Yep. Boom. Area rocked, everything glowing. With Union's blue mana, Dragon was loaded with it now. Opponent face planted on rocks, cursed loud, and passed out. Moo checked who this rude guest crashing his planet was. Couldn't tell who it was, 'cause of the armor. So off comes the helmet. He yanked it off. Inside, some bald dude gasping for air, looking relieved. Calm, didn't last. He screamed when he saw our boy, totally spooked by the Earth Lord. Guy spun around yelling that seeing him like this was torture. Nowhere to hide, bruh. Kept screaming. He didn't expect to look this bad and God would pay. This Elmore alien wasn't basic though. He had an Earth soul inside. Just a total nerd. Student named Leho.